We should have an intro. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We should have an intro, but unfortunately, it's refused to play.
No, it's playing. I heard it. Try it again. Play it again, Sam.
Oh, hey, it's started. Good evening, and welcome to another exciting show. And our guest tonight is, all the way from America, our cheese ambassador. It's Patrick. Hello, Patrick.
Hey, how's it going there?
Mustn't grumble, we could do. And tonight we're talking about Bonhoeffer's theory of stupidity.
All right.
And quite honestly, before we went live, we was talking about awards. Now, I'm not a person. I don't like all these, here's the awards for this and here's the awards for that.
You don't like these things where it's all for vain applause.
Yeah. It's like. And do you ever get that? You did get that show in America called that. This Is Your Life, or words to that effect, where they go sit down. And Angie Dickinson, she was chosen for it, and she refused. She said because it's just sickly awful. Now, I admire her for that. Did you ever get that? Where, oh, by the way, Steve has just said, "Sorry, I'm late this evening. I'm just home, but good to join you soon." A note from parents, Steve. Sorry, mate. Can't have this. Survival Steve should be on, and he's late. But what I was going to say is. This Is Your Life. I used to detest that program. Did you ever see it at all, Patrick, in America?
No. I've heard of it, though.
Yeah, they did have it. I think it came from America. Angie Dickinson was chosen for it, and she said, no, I don't want it. And what it is, people are chosen, they say, this is your life, and they sit them down, they say, oh, you're such a marvellous person, that's it. And in 1965, you did this, you did that, and people come on, oh, he's marvellous, it's
a regular philanthropist.
Yeah.
Right? That type of thing.
That's
what a good person that he is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, David. I think they had Jimmy Savile on our one.
Did they?
They had all the paedophiles on there. Yeah, who's that other thing? Who's that other guy? Oh, Alice Gorgeous has said, "This is your cringe." Yeah, it was. It was really cringing. Let's put it this way, Patrick. A sick bucket wouldn't be big enough. You'd need a dustbin for it. I mean, it's so bad. But they had. Do you hear about Gary Glitter? Have you heard of?
The rock and roll. Dude went away for that same.
That's
thing
right.
Jimmy Savile and Pete Townsend and all them.
That's it. And on YouTube, they got a edition of when it was his. This Is Your Life. And this girl came on. She said, "Oh yes, he dated all the schoolgirls." I thought, I bet he bleeding did. Yes, and. DJ B2 said Jimmy Savile was on the show in 1990. Yes, that's right. And Eamon Andrews as the he started off Eamon Andrews, and then it was some other geezer that did it. And again, it was it was a sickening program. Yes, it was. It was so bad. It was almost good, Now, where are we? We got Truth Over Lies. Says, I remember This Is Your Life. It ended when I was about 12, 2000. I hated the theme tune. It droned on. This Is Your Life. That's right. Yes. And, well, did you know that they had... hang on. Gary Glitter was 1992 they had on there. Yes. And they had a Polish Air Force pilot on there once. And the Eamon Andrews said, I know, he said, what happened during the war? He said, this Polish bloke said, well, we got off the got into my airplane and we flying around. And we saw a Fokker going along the front of us, and I shot him down, and then I got another Fokker came along and came up behind me. And Eamon Andrews said, "Excuse me," to the public. He says, "A Fokker is a German aircraft." And the Polish bloke said, "No, but it was Messerschmitts that morning." Sorry. Made that one up.
Quick to turn that phrase around. Yeah.
But Michael Aspel, that's right. Michael Aspel, he took over from Eamon Andrews. Yeah, is he still live and kicking, Michael Aspel? Yeah, I haven't seen him for a long time. He's getting on a bit, I suppose. Now DJ B2 says, I have IMDb up in another window.
IMDb, Internet Movie Database?
Yes. Ah, that's what it is. Thanks, mate. That's what it is. Yes. But what we were talking about is people that, because, hello, is Steve coming on? Now, people with awards, when at my father's funeral, I said, if I was half as brave as my father, I'd be an extremely brave person. And I like to give that sort of verbal award to people. And although he doesn't realise it, Steve got it the other year. And there are people that I think are deserving of that award. And I think that, what's his name? The chappie who did the Stupidity thing, I think he should get it. I think Bonhoeffer should get it. But what do you think about Father Maudsley? What do you think? Evening, Steve.
Hi, guys.
Have you got a note from your parents? This is the thing. We're very late there, you know. But you don't realise that you've had an award.
I have.
Yes.
Oh,
I think it was last year. Well, as I said, please don't cringe. Sick bucket nearby. And I said at my father's funeral, if I was half as brave as my father, I'd be extremely brave. And I believe we should give awards to each other, verbal awards. I don't like all this sort of, he's got a bag here. Oh, and we give this to you for your services to bullshit and all this crap. I don't like it. So what we're saying is who we should award the bravery awards to. People that stand up against, and you got it, I think it was the year before last. Bonhoeffer, I'm thinking of awarding it to. And anybody can award it to somebody else. So you can award it to somebody. It doesn't matter. But if you feel you're not, I feel I'm not worthy for any awards because I haven't shown bravery. It's got to be bravery. And we're thinking about Father Maudsley. So what do you think, Patrick? Father Maudsley coming up for this year?
Yeah, he's pretty good. I like that he goes out. He's outspoken. Yeah. He's not afraid to say what needs to be said about history, right. Especially.
Yes, very brave.
History that gets glossed over or gets neglected or totally censored because it doesn't fit well with the current massacres going on.
That's right. And I think if we could do a list of these people and we could vote on it on Telegram. And also this is a very nice anniversary because my Facebook page, Fockham Hall, has now reached 300 members. Not bad.
That's good going. 300.
So I've got on 300 on the Facebook page. And also, I've got an apology to make that people that have emailed me in the last week, I haven't got back to them that promptly. So I'm not ignoring anybody. You will get an answer, but I'm a little bit busy, okay? So please, please, please don't say, ignorant sod, he hasn't replied to me. I will reply. I'm just a bit busy, okay? There we are. And you'll find out what I've been busy on soon. So another exciting thing. Now, how's survival, Steve? How are you, mate? Is it cold up where you are? Or is it nice and warm? Or?
No, we've actually had quite a pleasant day up north here. First time I've seen the sunshine. Not that it's been warm, I must admit, but first time I've seen a bit of bright skies for a good couple of weeks. It's been pretty wet and miserable. Actually, I'm not called Survival Steve today. I don't know if you've noticed.
Oh, hang on. You said Stupidity, Steve.
Yeah.
You got an occult survival, Steve. That's interesting.
Right. No, well, I thought I'd call myself Stupidity Steve for this evening, in line with the theme of tonight's, the title of tonight's show.
You're far from stupid, I can tell you that. I totally disagree
Well,
with you there. I don't
I've,
think you're stupid.
I've had my
because
moments. I mean,
we all
for
have, though,
instance,
haven't we? We're all stupid.
yeah, I was
Who
looking at my
hasn't been?
watch upside down, so I was incredibly late this evening.
Wow. But that's like, well, look what happened last night. I was supposed to be talking to Paul English last night. I was
Mm.
working away. I thought I'll contact him about 8 o'clock. Looked up, 9:45.
Wow. These things happen.
That just happens like that.
I was listening in on Thursday, actually, on Paul English.
Oh, yeah.
Show. It was very, very entertaining. Some good conversation.
Well, we're going over to, we are actually on Food for Thought Radio, and things are going to change very, very soon because we're going to be 2 minutes late. So we're going to be going like 2 minutes past 8 because we've got so many places we're linking up to. And also, we'll have advert breaks as well at the top of the hour. We're advertising each other's things. So if you want an advert for your horses and things like that.
Happy days. Thanks very much.
Yes. Now, Truth Over Lies has said, what accent does Steve have? Northumberland? Doesn't sound strong enough to be Geordie.
Well, how man, like, I'm a proper Geordie, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, boy.
Like, aye, I'm from Mertoon. I'm not even very good at putting on a fake accent from where I'm from, actually. Yeah, I'm a bit of a... I think I've travelled around too much, but I'm actually I was born under the Tyne Bridge. How about that?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was actually born in Edinburgh, Birmingham, London, Exeter. My mother was a chief stoker on the Flying Scotsman. Oh,
all right.
Joke, isn't it? No, it wasn't. But no, it's a nice accent. Actually, it's a very mild sort of Northumberland accent. Very mild.
Yeah, I haven't got a particularly strong northeast accent, but I am from Newcastle, if that helps.
Yeah. Well, I'll probably sound Cockney to you. I don't know, but it's actually no, it's Hertfordshire, but it's posh, you know. It's Hertfordshire, you know. But no, it's bleeding London lot, you know. But no, Bonhoeffer's theory of stupidity. Now, Bonhoeffer is a hero of mine, a very brave man, because I believe bravery, even if you disagree with a person, is standing up for what they believe in and going against the crowd. And he did. And he stood up against Mr. H.
He certainly did.
And he was sent to a concentration camp, and he was hung 2 weeks before the Americans got there. Just 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's a tragedy, really. You know,
it is.
In that space of time, he could have been a free man.
39 years of age, and eyewitnesses said that he was dignified to the end, and he prayed, and he took it like a man.
Yeah,
and that to me is unbelievable bravery. That really
too right. Yeah. Probably unrecognised. I mean, I don't know if he's particularly well known. The name's probably not that well known, but he made some very acute observations of what was going on during that reign of Nazism.
Well, what he said, essentially, boiling it down, is that, and there's lots of people that's backed this up, is when people get into hierarchy groups, they can become stupid. And a perfect example of this is in China, they used to believe that a turtle dragged the sun across the sky. Now, that to us sounds completely and utterly bloody bonkers. We know that the sun, I've never seen a turtle dragging the sun across the sky. And when what they call them, missionaries got to China, this is only in some provinces, they tried to convince the Chinese that this wasn't the case, and they showed you maps and things of the planets and whatever. I'm not going into flat Earth and square Earth, but they and because it was accepted that a turtle did drag the sun across the sky, intellectuals and academics believed it as well, because the emperor said so, and because the emperor said so, it must be true. And to disagree with that, you are a traitor. You're going against the emperor, and nobody goes against the emperor. And you look at all the academic literature of that time, they just accepted that the sun was dragged across the sky by a turtle. And it took 2 generations to get it out of them. 2 generations. Now, you think of the things we've been led to believe. Now, I've been doing a lot of writing about the rocker fiddlers, medicine, and how they polluted it. And I've got to be careful what I say. And they were, as you say, quite rightly say, I think it's Patrick, you told me, was it snake oil salesman, weren't they? Patrick is
he gone?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they started out doing that, the snake oil salesman, and then they became into actual oil, petroleum. I think in Pennsylvania, Standard Oil. They started Standard Oil.
And did you know that Standard Oil trains were going through into Germany via Hungary throughout the war, and the American Air Force was ordered not to fire at them? And it actually had on the side Standard Oil written on the side clearly. So they knew not to fire them, yes. And so when they saw Standard Oil, they didn't fire them, you see. Very patriotic men. The Rockefellers, very patriotic. You know.
They also, when they were bombing Dresden, didn't bomb the train stations. They bombed all the residential housing, but not. They left all of the train railways intact because they wanted to use them after the war, take them over.
Well. Very interesting. And did you know at the beginning of the war, men risked their lives flying over Germany, dropping leaflets, not bombs, persuading Germany to surrender, which was a bit silly because Germany was not in a negotiating time then, because they had all the ace cards at that time. So it's a little bit silly. But the reason why is because a lot of MPs, like for example Nettlefold Screws, they had factories in Britain and Germany. And of course, they didn't want their factories bombed. But yeah, and now Exo said, by the way, Sam Guri said, where are we? Yeah, mate, here he is. The turtle example is interesting. I've never heard that. Yes, that's true. Actually, the Victorian missionaries, they took, you know, these mechanical models that show the planets as they go around and things like that. They showed the Chinese that, and they're sitting there very polite, going, oh, that's interesting. And they'd leave where they're told about the planets. And they go, very interesting. But of course, the turtle drags the sun across the sky.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I don't think that belief has entirely been eradicated. There's still people today believe that the Earth is held up by turtles. And I mean, I remember hearing I forget what it was, documentary or an interview, but one person commented, well, how far do the turtles go? And it was basically the turtles go all the way to the bottom.
Turtles all the way down.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? But Exo said, I've not heard that, Eric. But what's weird is there's another medieval idea that the Earth was bounced on the back of a turtle shell. So that's a strange turtle link as well. And the reason why it's turtles, because you know you've got the calendar of the year on the turtle's back. I'm not sure if it's the same one I taught us, but on a turtle's back, it shows you the 13 months.
Does it? Wow.
Calendar. Yeah.
Wow, that's fascinating.
So there we go.
Yeah.
So
it just shows you everything's connected.
Oh yes, it's all connected. Now, Envro 4000 says the oil was the start of the destruction of the old world because we couldn't be allowed to have free energy. That's correct. And the First World War, we're told it's because of Ferdinand being shot in his car in Sarajevo. Nice one, but it wasn't. Because,
I mean, of all the things that's going to trigger a world war is some posh dude from a country most people have never heard of getting killed.
But the real reason is because Germany was industrializing quicker than Britain, and Britain didn't want that. And Germany was building a railway across Turkey, which would have reinforced the Ottoman Empire that was crumbling at that time, to get oil straight away from the Middle East through into Germany without going by ship, because they knew going by ship, the Royal Navy ruled the waves. And by taking it across land, they didn't take that risk. And the British could not allow Germany to get away with it. And that's why the First World War, we got into it bloody quick. And their resources went to the Middle East to bomb the crap out of that railway and stop it. And that was it. They couldn't be allowed to get away with it. And and the reason the World War I came to an end is also kept a secret, and I've said this many times before, is because the French army mutinied en masse and the German Navy mutinied en masse. And they said, we've had enough. And they said, go over the top. And they said, no, sod off. That's basically, well, not exactly knows what you got sod off, bit off, But no, seriously. And that's the real reason it came to an end. And there was a thing called the Monochlord Mutineer. British sort of did. But we usually do as we're told. Go over and kill those Jerrys. Why they go, We're quite law abiding in this country. We're not like the French or Germans. We're very sort of stiff upper lip,
Oh yeah. The trouble is we're actually following the wrong laws. We're following the laws of man, and we want to forget that nonsense and follow the laws of nature. Spot
on. But going back to Bonhoeffer's Bonhoeffer's theory of stupidity.
Yeah.
If you wanted an example why we don't need government, just look at his theory of stupidity. Because governments, you think of about the stupid people that are supposed to be highly qualified in governments. Look at the amount of stupid people in the health service that are highly qualified. And what he said, big hierarchical organisations, the more stupid they become. Don't wish to be rude to, but look what happened with you, mate, where they're all making their bleeding masks.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Highly trained, highly skilled soldiers. Not the average, the ones with savvy upstairs. Yeah. And remember what Bonhoeffer said? It doesn't matter how academic they are, they still get dragged into this stupidity.
Exactly.
And now Exos said Serbian people get blamed for everything. Yes, they do. And where was the first place they bombed? The television and broadcasting stations during that war.
Oh, really?
Yes, quite interesting. Yes. And Rachel Reeves seems a bit thick. I think that's a little bit of a. I mean, what about that? If Starmer resigns, the deputy prime minister, who's that geezer now? I can't think of his name. Doesn't really bother me. He was the one that wore a suit with white trainers. To go and meet the President of the United States. Yes. Not exactly very good dress sense.
Is that right? Was he doing a bit of an Elon? Doing a bit of an Elon Musk, because doesn't he hang around with the President of the United States? Yeah, he wears trainers and baseball caps and T-shirts under his jacket, doesn't he, when he's visiting his mates in the White House?
But he has more money, more than likely.
That's true.
David Lammy. That's the bloke, David Lammy. Because he is the man that when they issued brains, he thought they said trains and he missed his. Sorry, but I mean, he's not exactly. Thanks, mates. That's Mark Anthony and DJ Beto have come up with that. Thank you, mates. Because quite honestly, he's not exactly the sharpest knife in the box, is he? I mean, I'd say he's the bluntest knife in the box.
Do you know what? I mean, I'm not very wise on who's in politics nowadays. I mean, I literally don't follow it at all. And I should, to be honest, because I'm forever slagging it off and criticising it. But I'm actually the worst offender for actually knowing what's going on in the world in that respect. So, I mean, it's got to the stage where I actually just think, well, just get rid of them. You know, it's pointless me trying to revise what's going on in the house of politics. You may as well just get rid of the lot.
It's pantomime.
In fact, I liken myself to it's a massive pantomime, but I liken myself to, and this might be a blast from the past for some listeners, or some perhaps might not have heard of a guy called Snake Plissken. And I featured him very briefly on my Telegram channel recently because Snake Plissken was the guy in the film Escape from New York. It's played by Kurt Russell.
Oh, yeah, I remember that film, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? It was actually a favourite of mine. That was a sci-fi classic, I think. But Snake Plissken had no time. I suspect he was a bit like me. He was a bit of an anarchist. He didn't care for politicians. He didn't care for the president of the United States. And when, to fast track to the end of the film, he had the chance of I think it was a recorded documentary or recorded conversation of the president who was trying to establish, and I'm going to do this in inverted commas, world peace. But of course, Snake Plissken had other ideas. He pretty much just ripped the tape up and kind of shrugged his shoulders and strutted off into the future without this treaty or agreement going down.
Yeah, well,
I think he's
good for. I agree with you. I mean, yeah, I remember that film. Yeah, that's quite a few years ago. It's quite a kind of old film, isn't it?
Yeah, very old. I'd imagine it's the 80s that film came out.
Yeah, but I'd like, again, can we put someone up for an award? We've got Father Maudsley there for this year, and that is the Bravery Awards. A man who stood up against the tide, and you got it in 2025.
I'm still waiting for my what was the prize for that? Was it a cash prize?
Yes, it was 3 Fock Bobs, which are worth
tremendous.
Not much money.
I'm just honoured. I got that. I've won something. It's first time ever. So,
well, why not? I mean, but I don't like all this sort of here's your award. Why not give it verbally, like they probably used to do? You know, and I mean, we honoured our elders, and I think we should still do that. Honour our elders because they're their wisdom. And societies that are run by the elders are generally okay, you know. Now, this is an interesting one. I don't know this. Truth Over Lies said, Lammy wrote racist hate mail to himself and made out it was sent to him by the far right. Did he? I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, yeah. I mean, what about that lady of a certain religion we mustn't criticise? A dormitory, she swore she actually daubed swastikas all over the door and got on the television going, oh, they're picking on me to far right. And then she didn't know it was a security camera that caught her doing it herself.
Yeah, me.
Yeah. But Ambrose said, stupidity is everywhere. When I worked for a stationery company, what do you mean it didn't move? I had a call from a customer who asked if yellow paper was yellow on both sides.
Yeah, mate. That's class.
Could that be the reason Britain lost its empire? People like that. I mean, he there are some very, but I mean, you must have seen some stupidity in your time. I mean, we all have, haven't we? I mean, I've done stupid things in my time. We all done stupid things. But when these people get into high office and they do stupid things, is what makes me laugh. I mean,
I was in the army, so pretty much every day I was surrounded by stupidity. But to be honest, I was one of the ringleaders, so I've only got myself to blame. But I was going to say, interestingly enough, I'll not kind of disclose the full topic of conversation or the source of it, but I was speaking to somebody of fairly high standing within the military, and he had a close connection with government ministers in the line of his work, and he pretty much would shake his head in disbelief of the stupidity of government, as he would kind of allude to. And it's kind of remarkable that they can pull anything off, given the topic of conversation that I've had with this gentleman. But there you have it. They still managed to, I was going to say they managed to perform and pull things off simply because they don't do it themselves. They basically just assign professionals and experts in many professions to do their work for them. So I think that's how government manages to.
That's right. I mean, my father witnessed the ultimate in stupidity once. And this was during World War II in Malta. Now, as we know, Malta, there was a siege of Malta. They couldn't get supplies through. And they believed that the Germans would invade Malta, you see. So what they did is 100% true. They put loads and loads of mines and whatever along the beach and everywhere. And my dad was stationed in a pillbox, which looked out over the sea. And they had these different pillboxes all the way along the coast, you see. And one of these hello chaps, or senior officers, very, very highly qualified, came along, and what they had is very basic. It's what would set off these mines and whatever that was laid along the beach if there was an invasion, was in those days, copper wire. It was wrapped in cotton, either side, and it had wax covering the copper. And it's a very old way they used to do it. And then and the wax was meant as a waterproofing agent, so it wouldn't short, you see. It wasn't very efficient. So he said, what you do is you shave off the wax, with a knife, and then you put the two wires on the terminals of the battery like this.
Dear me.
Didn't kill anybody, but he said the ground shook, the whole bloody lot went up. The stupid sod didn't realise that there wasn't much wax on the terminals.
Oh, right, okay.
And he did like this. He said, they thought the pillbox was going to go up. The explosion, they heard it halfway across the island, because Malta's only 20 miles long by about 5 or 6 miles wide. So it shook everything.
Right.
But, ultimate in stupidity. And, it's still, do you know something? I worked in architecture, and it's still a mystery to me to this very day how buildings get built. Seriously, it's a mystery, because there's so much stupidity that goes on. How do they build these buildings without them falling down? And I drew them as that, and it's still a mystery. It's just sort of, I don't know, sort of that most of the time. We've got health and safety.
I'm going to guess that stupidity and oh well, that's stupidity in itself, isn't it?
Well, I witnessed
a whole lot of that.
Well, I witnessed one. You see, in the 1980s, 1990s, there was this thing called where they used to have atriums in buildings, and they were kind of like light areas where just let the light into the centre of the building. It was quite good, actually, until clients worked out that that's a waste of space. We could be making money out of that profitable bit of space. Well, I worked on a project in Lower Thames Street, and it was that blue building that's like a pyramid, you see, and they had an atrium on that. And what it was, I can explain it. It was like a kind of hexagon type roof made out of these things called nodes, which were balls, and you had like tubular, I think it was aluminium, that went at different angles to make this like frame similar to the sort of frames you see in, say, aircraft hangars and big buildings. You know what I mean? That sort of open frame, you see. And some bright spark thought, someone who'd done out the calculations said, oh, these nodes have to be 2 millimeters bigger for the stress, you see. So they made them 2 millimeters bigger, but they didn't take into account that that's a build-up of error, isn't it? 2 millimeters, 2 millimeters, 2 millimeters, 2 millimeters.
Yeah.
And they got a crane over from Germany, costing a small fortune, to lift this space frame into position over the weekend. I wasn't in that weekend, but my mates were, and they said that what happened is the crane lifted it up and it went and it was too big. And he said all the people from the place that made this were going, I shouldn't do that. And it took them about an hour to figure out that these nodes were all too, because they increased the size of these nodes. Now that is common sense, isn't it? If you increase the size of these little balls by 2 millimeters, you're going to have a build-up of error. And this thing cost that. I think it bankrupted the firm, actually.
Wow.
Did it? Yeah. That put it all right. And I think that saw each one of these sort of connecting rods that saw off a couple of millimeters from each one. And it's just. But
still, well, I was going to say, still, I bet none of them were wearing underpants over their faces just because somebody on TV told them to.
Yes, you could put, and about the person on TV that told people to do that, with the surname of H, Lurie, one of the, shall we say, side effects from that is this special heart condition, which he's just had.
Is that right? Wow.
Yes.
Well, that's almost like just desserts, isn't it?
Yeah. Allegedly, now I don't know if this is true or not. I haven't checked this myself, but apparently he's got shares in big pharma companies.
Oh, allegedly. Is that right?
But I haven't checked this myself, so I can't accuse. So I don't know. But apparently he has. If anybody does know, yes. But I actually can't stand that man. I've got a loathing for him. This deep emotion. Yeah.
I mean, I'm familiar with them only because I literally don't watch TV. I don't watch the news, so I would like to think that as a result of this, I am a little bit less stupid than I would have normally have been. I don't know, but I didn't fall for many of the things that they obviously ask other people to do, so it kind of doesn't work on me for some reason, and I think largely is because I don't fall for the brainwashing that is endemic in today's society as a result of social conditioning and TV.
You're spot on, and also you're you're part of the 30% that can see through it, because you know that's a theory of mass formation. Desmond, whatever his name is, Dr. Desmond. I think that's a spot on one, and it's similar to Bonhoeffer.
Yeah,
very similar to what Bonhoeffer was getting to. And if only that man would have lived, boy, what he would have given to humanity.
Yeah, exactly. I believe, and I mean, I might be completely mistaken here, but I mean, I did quite a while back study a little bit about Bonhoeffer's work, and I believe there was about 5,000 other people executed for similar reasons to Bonhoeffer. I think I'm pretty sure you had some involvement, whether it was alleged or for real, in the attempted assassination of a certain high-ranking Führer in Nazi Germany.
Austrian painter and decorator.
That's the one.
Yes.
And I believe there was about 5,000 people executed.
Really?
No, I'm guessing it wasn't all on the same day, but not only that, I think his last words, and it's true what you say, because he was kind of a brave man up until the end. You know, he stared death in the face, even though he knew it was imminent. And he apparently said something like, and again, don't correct me if I'm incorrect with the quote here, but it was, for some, life has reached the end, but for me, life is just at the beginning. And apparently that was his final words.
What an amazing man. And I'll tell you another person who was very brave, and the chap that hung him said he was the bravest man he's ever hung.
Is that right?
It was a chap called Emery. Was it not David Emery? He actually worked for the Germans. He changed sides, and he was related to a Conservative MP. And he, again, I mind that man's bravery. And they said, oh, he's a traitor and all that. Yes, but, and it was Pierpoint who hung him. And in his memoirs, he said he was the bravest man. He said he went to his final resting place with complete, a real sort of manly way. And the other one is Hussein, President Hussein. His maker. Apparently, he stood quite solemnly. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I mean, that takes a lot of presence of mind.
That takes balls. It really does.
Right.
And I mean, I'm pretty sure I'd be a gibbering wreck, but you just don't know. We find an inner strength. I mean, some of the things you've been through, life and death situations. I haven't been in a life and death situation, but I've had some nasty experiences. And you find an inner strength that you didn't know you had. I guess you did. Did you find it as you find an inner strength that you thought, well, crumbs, I've been through that. Wow, I didn't know I had that sort of strength.
Well, one observation I would say is in war. I mean, whether this is what other people do, but I kind of just wrote my life off. That's what I done. That's how I kind of come to terms with, you could say, deadly situations. It's, oh, well, I've written my life off. Not that I want to die or anything, not that I want to get injured, but it's like, oh, well, if it happens, well, oh, well, I've come to terms with it.
Well,
so I don't. Yeah. I was going to say I don't have any. What's the word? I don't want to use the term PTSD, but I don't personally have any suffering from that kind of situation, simply because I've kind of comfortable with my understanding my own mind. I've come to terms with all those things. I mean, obviously, I'm completely anti-war and completely anti-military.
I realise that.
But,
but could it be part of your training, though?
But that took me a long time to come to that understanding. You've got, again, a lot of people might think, well, this guy's obviously... that obviously helps, yeah. I mean, that helps tremendously.
Well, it could be that. I mean, I'll give you another example. When I was freelance and desperate for work, I would be looking around that. When I semi-retired and couldn't give a shit, work came in. And because I couldn't give a shit, I got quite a few projects where I normally wouldn't get them, because I was just sort of, take it or leave it, and give a shit. And it's surprising when you give that sort of attitude. It's sort of, it's weird. I can't explain it. It's a very, and there's an old saying. Sorry, carry on.
No, you continue.
No, please. Yours is more important.
All right. Well, I thank you. I was going to basically just compliment what you're saying there, because I kind of wholeheartedly agree with. I almost think it's almost like the universe provides when you allow it to. I personally, I don't get strung up on finance at all. I've literally I've not got a proper job, but I'd never worry about finance at all. I mean, I have done at some stages in my life. I've obviously worried about money and work and I literally don't look for anything now, and it's almost when something is required, it kind of just comes as a result of, you could say, the natural order.
Well, that's it. I think this hub might bring in quite a bit for you because it's quite big. And I mean, when you look at Bowler Hat Farmer, the amount of contacts he's got, because I think that is probably the root of ignoring government out of. Now, that's not my saying. I got this from somebody else, and I think it's a brilliant one. And that is ignoring government out of existence. Just ignore them out of existence. And
I think
that's the only way.
I think you might have put that on some of your conversations on. Yeah, I remember reading that. I mean, I don't know who coined that, but yeah, I think it's a great. There was another couple of points. Yeah, but you had another couple of points alongside it, which were, I think, were really good observations as well.
Thank you. I can't remember what they were.
Yeah, I can't.
That's stupidity. Yeah, I've got my own stupidity. I can't remember that. But no, I think that really, I look on governments as demonic, and I experienced because someone demonic came into my family.
Yeah,
and it was a microcosm of the way governments work. It really is. And what they do, they turn things on its head. Truth means nothing. Right is wrong and wrong is right. Everything is suspicious. You'll be suspicious of everything. Every move you make is suspicion. And they just create a living hell. And you cannot beat it. There's no way you can beat it. And the only way you can beat it is to get away from it and ignore it. So what I did, I cut off all communication with that side of the family. Best thing I ever did. And to me, it doesn't. And it sent me a letter the other week, and I sent a response back. Please go away. Bang.
Right. Okay.
I said I know about demonic things, and I know how to repel it. Please go away. I will not tolerate this torment. Off. I haven't heard a thing back. Not a thing. It's gone. And I think that this is the thing. What we have in power is demonic. You can't beat it. Try and beat it, you won't. Because it's on their terms. Because we don't think like they do. We don't react like they do. Ignore them.
Yeah.
Now, people say, what about if you're on... that was it. A lady came back and said, and it's very true, she's on PAYE and everything's taken at source. But I think there was a chap on Paul English's show last Thursday that was talking about this blockchain, which I know the square root of nothing about, where you can produce your own finances. But my feeling is, well, is Mr. Rothschild going to sit back and get, watch that happen? I don't know, but he reckons you can get around it. I don't know. I might be talking out the back of my neck. I just don't know. But if we can have our own finance, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Because and beat them again, and it catches on around the world. Because remember, the first time in history we've had internet.
Oh yeah, exactly. I think what's important to recognise as well is, that when there's sort of debates about what the future could present or how we could shape it for the better, we often talk about finance, the money system, which is of course quite important. It's quite important. However, there is more important issues on that. It's pointless. No matter what the system of currency is and how we conduct business, if we ain't got a moral society, then basically whatever system you've got in place is going to detract from a safe and beneficial means of having a cooperative existence and peaceful coexistence with the rest of society. So the morality issue needs to be fixed and established before the finance system needs to be fixed, if that makes sense.
Excellent point. That does make a lot of sense. And I think what is an interesting one, now I might be talking out of ignorance, and Patrick might be able to come in on this. I know very little about the Amish. The only thing I know about the Amish is what I've seen in the films, a few documentaries. That's about it. But it seems to work. And what is the mortar that holds the families together is religion. Now, I did find out, I think it was Patrick that told me, that it was the elders that run things. Can you fill us in a little bit more on this, Patrick, about the Amish? Because I'm very ignorant of the Amish. On the outside, it seems to work. I don't know.
Yeah, they're kind of like they're a Protestant sect of Christians,
Yes.
and they have their hierarchy of bishops. I don't know what they consider lesser than bishops, but usually the father would be the head of the household, I'd imagine. And when they buy a new house around here, they moved up here from the south. Usually they were out east, and they speak a dialect of German called Pennsylvania Dutch. So they speak both English and the Pennsylvania Dutch language, which is kind of like a Germanic type language. I don't know how close it is to, say, like this Afrikaners, South African language that they speak down there, because it's Dutch. It might be fairly similar. But when they buy a house, they usually rip out all of the electric and use electricity unless they have to. They carry cell phones and that sort of thing, but out of necessity, because you're in a rural area, you're at a distance. I don't know how much they use it, but yeah.
What about vehicles? I mean, I've seen
vehicles,
them with their
horse and buggy.
On the horses, yeah.
Some
of them drive cars at all?
Well, no, some of them hitch rides. They have their drivers they hire. So you'll see like a van. We have like little. I think your equivalent there would be like a Mercedes bus or something like.
I know the type. Yeah.
Yeah, a small van.
Really? Yeah.
Or a large one for that matter. But they have their worship. I think it's Sundays, and they get together and they pray, and I think they have their bishop that heads it all, which usually it's a married man, so it's not like the Catholic Church where they take a vow of chastity, but they structure themselves around the bishop, I think, is how it works. And they have their little businesses. They have like they'll have farms. You can go out to the farm, buy raw milk if you want to, and
are they slightly detached?
To the public. Yeah, they're very detached. Well, they're detached partly because they speak their language amongst themselves that we don't understand. They call us Englishmen because we speak English. So when they're referring to anybody that's not one of them, they're Englishmen.
That's strange because you speak English. People say you don't speak American.
Right.
There's no such language as American. It's English. Isn't it weird? Isn't it? I've often wondered that.
But then again, you're thinking of British. You're British, right? Because you're over there in the British Isles.
England, if you don't mind, English.
Well, I know that, but that's kind of I don't consider myself an Englishman. I consider me American. So.
And do you know what country speaks the most English? You'd be shocked at this. The widest. Now, this was as of 20 years ago. I don't know if it's changed now. The widest English spoken language in the world.
Percentage?
In percentages, yeah. China. More people speak English in China than they do in America. Seriously.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I speak bloody English, I do, Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I would never have guessed that.
Yeah. That's
they have
why.
Hundreds of millions. They have close to 1 billion people, if not more. 1.5 billion. Yeah. Something like that.
Well, let's
so imagine that. Yeah.
As Spike Milligan said, he said chopsticks are the reason that Chinese never invented custard. Which is very true, isn't it?
So he thinks. So he thinks. I think that fingers were invented before chopsticks or forks. So
that's right.
Finger food.
Now it says, Blu-ray says, when you stop resisting and let go. That's right. And we got here, Alice Gorgeous says, my old friend said, let's ignore government out of existence. That's probably where it comes from. Parallel systems are what we need. Yes, I agree. I totally agree there. And has anybody else found this? You can't get natural materials now in clothing. It's all mixed fibers.
You can. It's expensive.
It's expensive, yeah. And I've found charity shops you can get it. But the thing is, that's if you like dressing like the 1950s, you know. Now, what we got here? Sammy Gururi said, the issue is always the same: the government or the market. There is no third solution. Ludwig von Mises. Now, the Jolly Man says, hey, realists, modern day religion's creation story,
Heliocentrism.
And that as well. Thanks, mate. Is a demonic deception. Who knew?
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, righto. And because this is the good thing about what I want to try with. Well, it shows everybody has everybody's opinion is treated politely, even if it goes completely alien against what you think. You know, if
that's why it gets an okay from me.
Yeah, so that's okay. So, Theet is rich. Theet is rich. Jewers. GPMS World on Facebook. He speaks of morality, natural law.
I'll have to check that out. I'm going to copy and paste that.
I'll leave it on there, mate. I'll leave that on there, mate. Should to write it out.
I've not heard him mentioned before, but if it's about morality and natural law, I'm obviously going to check that out. That's something I promote massively.
Well, I'm very much like that chappie, that American chappie. What's his name now? Who wrote The Greatest Superstition?
Lark and Rose.
Lark and Rose. He sums it right up. It's out of the arc. What do we need these idiots? I mean, when you look at governments, they really are stupid. As stupid as stupid could be. I mean the funniest. Sorry, carry on.
No, go. You were.
No, please. No. You're the guest. Well,
that's very kind of you. Thank you. Well, if you were to listen to his, I mean, he's had tons of podcasts going for probably the best part of, I'm going to say 15 years. It might be more. He's been prolific on the internet with podcasts. Some of his podcasts, you literally could not defend any argument with that's pro-government after listening to him. You literally can't. You either ignore him and pretend he doesn't exist, or you come to the complete understanding that actually this guy's 100% right, and I've just fallen for absolute nonsense.
Yeah, he is very convincing in what he says. And talking about, we come up to the top of the hour. What I was going to say, we were trying to arrange a show with two people who are in favour of us having governments and two people who are not in favour of us having governments. And
can I guess? You've been finding it difficult to get two people who are pro-government. Is that what it is?
Well, almost, yes, because the poor sod who's going to arrange it, he's been in hospital. So, Brett, wish you well, mate. Hope you're out of hospital. You've been a bit ill recently, a bit Tom and Dick. So
yeah,
we wish you
well. I hope he pulls through good.
Yes, he's going to be okay. He's a survivor. But no, I wanted to get Graham Hart on here, who runs I think it's the English Constitution Party, and that would have been a really good debate. I'd have to grit my teeth and be neutral, even though I'm anti-government, and I'd make that clear at the beginning. But I'd have to be neutral, so I would be neutral in that
that's
case.
An honourable position to be,
Thank you.
If you've got your own thoughts. I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't do as good a job as Lark and Rose, but equally, I'd be pretty, even with my limited understanding and dialogue, I think I'd be quite confident that he'd be an anarchist. This guy would be an anarchist within a week.
Do you think we could get Lark and Rose on? wonder if he would. He's a bit high profile, isn't he? A bit too high profile for her. But I don't know. I mean, I thought Dr. Mahill was too high profile, but she came on. So, but,
I'll tell you what. I would definitely say Larkin Rose deserves some sort of award for the, the prolific work he's put into the freedom and truth communities. And the guy's very talented. He's written some excellent books. Some of his documentaries are first rate, and he's actually a musician as well. And he sometimes puts some of his own music tracks to his documentary work. And to be honest, I don't think there's a greater person on the face of the planet who can kind of politely give people an understanding that government is actually, well, as he terms it, the most dangerous superstition. I believe if Bonhoeffer was still alive, he would determine that the belief in government is actually just another version of stupidity, because that's essentially, once you've narrowed it down to its bottom line ingredients, well, sorry, you're only left with stupidity to actually follow the directions of a bunch of lunatics.
That's quite interesting. I mean, so far we've got Father Maudsley and Larkin Rose. Okay. Yeah. So anybody else in chat would like to put somebody first? But brave people, we've got to have brave. What about our ladies? Any females here that are very brave, that'll stand up to that type of thing? So it's Bravery Awards, and Steve got it last year, so we want someone for this year. Okay. Have you got any more, Patrick, you want to put forward for Bravery Awards? People that stood up, even if you disagree with them, but they stood up against a force of people that disagree with them.
Oh, yeah, I think E. Michael Jones is my pick.
Okay,
he doesn't get enough recognition for that. They have what's called dynamic silence, where they don't even talk about you and say, like, the media will go after people, make an example of them that are, more popular. But
he's on your show occasionally, isn't he, E. Michael Rose?
Yeah, I've talked to him a couple times, interviewed him.
So we've got three now.
Influence.
Who's he, Patrick? I'm not familiar with that name.
He's a publisher and book author down in Indiana near Chicago.
Right.
His name is Dr. E. Michael Jones.
Does he get much flack? Does he get a heck of a lot of flack? Does he have to stand up to a lot? Okay.
Yeah.
So we got we got Father Maudsley, Larkin Rose, Michael E.
Michael Jones.
Jones. Oh, Jones. Right, we'll carry this on tomorrow. We'll ask people.
He wrote a book recently that I read called Walking with a Bible and a Gun, about American identity. About the story of America and how we kind of look up to these people like a Daniel Boone type character. They start off life like Daniel Boone was a Quaker, so he was for peace and love and no wars. But then his daughters were kidnapped by Indians, so he picked up a gun and went out in the wilderness to hunt down the kidnappers and become a American hero, folk legend type of thing. Yeah. So that's kind of like the American identity is, we're kind of outcasts religiously. At least the popular, American myth is the, the outcast Puritans come here, set up shop, and they're outcast, and
that's interesting.
They lose their identity though, because it's such a poor identity to begin with, that weren't very liked in America, or I'm not in America, but in England, the Puritans weren't. You had people like Oliver Cromwell and that kind of thing that started they were regicides. They wanted to kill the king, go after the institution, but at the same time they'd go after the poor people too.
Oh, so yes.
It didn't.
And he abolished Christmas, didn't he? He abolished Christmas, but he had a good knees up at Christmas, so he had a good time. But then when they came here, they kind of lost their identity because nobody really liked them either, and they formed into what are called the Unitarians later on, and now they've just kind of dissolved into evangelical Christians, I think is the current term. But I'm not religious. I mean, my parents was Church of England, and I was brought up C of E, Church of England. But I would probably be, if I was religious, I'd probably be somewhere between a Quaker and a Buddhist, somewhere between the two.
Well,
sort
the
of hover
idea,
between the two, and this sort of peaceful, sort of peace and love,
the idea of the Bible and the gun is basically the church and state. The military, and then you have the book of the morality that we base our government on is supposed to be both. How you have a gun, but then how do you use that gun? Is it for peaceful terms? How do you uphold justice? And that becomes the question. It's like, what's the balance between church, as in the morality and the natural law, and the actual state of things, where it's the military and you have a gun to enforce what you need to enforce? So that's the big question, and it's turned into a disaster when it comes to America, that we need to now kind of redefine who we are and look at that.
Well, apparently the English Constitution, I'm talking about the English Constitution, we have a right to bear arms. Now, I don't know any more than that, and just chap Graham would be the one to put it on the show to ask. Now, Blu-ray has said Jamie Freeman would be good on Eric's show. Who is Jamie Freeman? I've never heard of him. Do you know, anybody else know him? Who's Jamie Freeman? I made a note of him.
No.
Is that
Does he have his
Freeman?
contact? Go ahead, Steve. Sorry.
Is that Freeman Fly? Is that the same dude, Freeman Fly?
Oh.
It might be. I'd have to check that up. Can I answer a question? Somebody's, I think it's Alice Gorgeous. She's asked me she's asked me what I think of crypto. She says she thinks it's a trap, as they won't allow us financial freedom. So, hello, Alice. What do I think of crypto? To be honest, my understanding of crypto is very limited, simply because, A, I don't have much money, and B, I'm not interested in money at all. So in a sense, I mean, call me a little bit selfish in that respect, but the system of finance really don't have any appeal to me whatsoever. But I kind of agree with you in a sense, what you're saying there, if you think it's a trap, because they won't allow us any financial freedom. Well, they'll not allow us any freedom. They'll give us enough freedom to maintain a sense of a sense of personal identity, as long as we obliged by the system that we're always going to be trapped in, including with finance. But I'm not a big fan of crypto personally. No. So I'd be inclined to agree.
But you're a fan of getting paid for what work you do.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that goes without saying. There should be some sort of recompense, whatever that might be. I might add for the labour that you that you do, for sure.
Well, I believe in the late Dave Starbuck system of economics, and that is, if you haven't got dosh in your hand, you ain't got it. Very simple.
Yeah.
So if you ain't got the money in your hand, you ain't got it. So if it's in a bank account, you ain't got it. It's got to be physically in your hand or in your
I mean, I totally agree with that. I mean, even though I don't have a great deal of money, I mean, the last 3 years I was in the army, I literally didn't get paid. So, I mean, and to be honest, that gave me
bastards.
Bastards. Do you know what? I'm not even bothered. Simply because I just realised that I can still have a meaningful existence without it. And don't get me wrong, you still got to get by in life, and you still got to put food on the table. And I'm sure there will be some people probably listening in thinking, how can you be so flippant about things? I mean, I literally just don't let it bother me at all. So it's times I think, it would be nice to fill my car up with fuel and daft things like that. But there was one occasion I was down to 4, and I thought this was quite ironic, because this is quite a significant number in Freemasonry. It's the number 47. Mm-hmm. There was one time I was down to 47p. And I thought, that's it. In fact, I was more interested in the fact that the number corresponds to the the 47th problem of Euclid, rather than, oh dear, I ain't got much money going on. But I will only use cash. I literally never use my bank card as well. But having said that, obviously, if you shop online for whatever, eBay or whatever, you can't really use cash then, can you? So
right.
Have
Like
you
crypto.
thought, though, Steve, of writing the books about survival? Because
have I thought
will go down about survival books, because they do sell well. I mean, that SAS guide that was written, was it in the 70s? I think the bloke, I think he's recently died, hasn't he? I don't know.
Oh, has he? You're kidding?
I don't know.
Lofty Wiseman.
They might still be alive, but that is a Bible that people use. And the other one is Food for Free. My chap called Maybe. Now, those books.
I've got both of them.
And what you said about, I haven't forgotten, Sharpies. That was bloody brilliant. Things are brilliant by their simplicity. It's like the bloke who invented this a paperclip. Everybody thought, why didn't I think of that? It was so simple, but he become a multi-millionaire out of inventing a paperclip. Now, a Sharpie pen, how would that? When you said a toothbrush, I thought, nah. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Because it's very, and I think that you probably saved a few ladies there from losing.
Well, if it gives people a little bit of just that extra bit of confidence that, hey, guess what? I can still carry myself in this world, and if something goes wrong, if somebody's got ill intent, well, at least I've got a few tricks up my sleeve, and a bamboo toothbrush in my back pocket. It gives that little bit of confidence, and if you've got that confidence to get yourself through life, then that's a big thing.
I'll tell you something else that is a bit strange. I was talking to Paul English about this. I can't remember if he was saying it live or not. But that is a pocket watch. You go up to reception, say, to get a ticket or train or something like that, and a person is deliberately lowering you. Just look at your pocket watch. Casually put it away. There's something dignified or snobbery, sort of wasting my time. And these are the old Victorian things that people did.
Well, nowadays, you look at your phone if you want to ignore somebody or signal to them, hey, you're not worth my time if you're going to waste it.
Yeah. That's right. But now, back into, the old chat's really going
it's loads.
Well, there's loads tonight. Barefoot Forengers, mate. What was it? The Environment just answered something from Barefoot Foreigner. Said, but enough people are now on board that we're not rolling around in space, and that the sun and moon are local to us. So that's interesting. And so anyway, we still need some heroes that we need to have up there who are facing a lot of flack and have gone stood up against, things. Now, where have we got here? Barefoot. Any chance everyone can stop winding Nathan up? Eh?
Oh, yeah?
He's probably got broken ribs and so is in pain, alternatively shouting and laughing at your flat earth debate. Oh, yes. Well, no, that was done in a gentlemanly way. And at the end of the program, I hope, but people sat back and thought, well, they both, Nathan and Anorak have both got good points. Very interesting. It's a bit like, I'll give you an example. It's between vegetarian and meat eater. Both sides have got excellent points, brilliant points. So I'm not, we do what is good for us, what we morally feel is right for us. But I take vitamin tablets. Not everybody takes vitamin tablets, but I feel that's right for me because I think we've all got the best doctor in the world. You know who that doctor is? Ourselves. Because we know ourselves better. And when you think about it, the old, you think how many people went in for that? I was talking to a young girl today. She might be watching. Hello, if you're watching. I went to get some eggs, and there's no eggs because of the wet weather. The chickens are not laying. It's interesting, isn't it? No eggs. And this poor girl, she was against getting the Williams Toxic Arm Brew. Had booked a holiday, and she'd saved up for this holiday and learnt the very last moment she had to have the you-know-what to go on the holiday. So I had it. I do feel sorry for her. But there is an answer to that. She can get the effects turned back, but I'm not allowed to say on this show. And it's quite legal. It's quite legal the way you can reverse the effects. Nothing illegal about it at all. Okay, but you're just not allowed to say it. It's a bit like you mustn't announce a cure for a certain disease.
Right.
So, but there we go. And but no, it's something that you can get hold of. Now, what we got here? Jollyman says, Earth motion in free space is null. All experiments, the 15 degrees per hour is the sun, moon, 0.51 fixed, not wandering stars. 22.7. Earth is stationary. Yeah, I believe that as well. Yes. No,
there's quite a lot of debate, isn't there?
Because I'm not allowed to say nicotine. That's nicotine. Yes. See, I'm not allowed to say what would the effects would be, and things like knickknacks. Because I didn't say knickknacks, did I? Not at all. So there we go.
Nothing like that.
No, nothing at all. Now, Barefoot Forager. No, common sense does through the life experience, and what we see and feel on the day-to-day basis does, though. That's it. Now, so we're trying to set up this debate, pro-government and against government, and we can't find anybody apart from so poor sod who's going to set it up for us. Went into hospital. I don't know if he's out or not. And Graham Hart, I could send to him, but it'd be better through Brett because Brett knows him. And I'm halfway through the door because he gets probably lots of emails, but that's it. But if we can get Graham Hart on the show, and he's got quite a punch, but
all right.
So, but I think you and Nathan would do well against him and Brett, maybe.
I mean, I've obviously not met the two gentlemen, but I mean, I quite fancy my chances. If Nathan's part of the tag team, I think I fancy our chances simply because it's very easy. You've literally, whoever's going to be publicly embarrassing themselves by trying to defend government in any way, shape, or form is obviously backing a losing team. So
that's right. But we call government not as the government we got now, any government. That's what we are. Any government at all. But the thing about these debates is that there is no time limit to the way you want to explain it. And providing nothing is personal, so anything like that, and people don't chime in to each other. The only time I would cut in is if it became personal, which it won't do. It's got to be like Edwardian or Victorian gentlemanly debate, which it will be, because the people, Nathan and Anorak did a bloody brilliant job of that. That is the centerpiece of how we want it. And at the end of the show, I want people to think, well, that side of the good statements and that side of good statements. It's a bit like vegetarian and meat eaters. Both sides have very, very good statements. Excellent putting up. Because I used to be a vegan. So, seriously. Yeah. So there we go.
You could make some good statements.
I can make some good statements. That's right.
Yeah.
Barefoot Forager said, Dr. Sarah May, I want to get her on again, was an extraordinary coup for you, Eric. It was. I couldn't believe my luck when she came. And I actually think that's how I got was it the other doctor on, because they know each other, and I think she pulled some strings for me.
Oh well.
What a beautiful, brilliant soul she is. She's brilliant. We got on like a house on fire. Thank you for tempting her on. Yeah, I want her on again, because she was so good. And when she cracked that joke at the end, I thought she was being serious. And I said, really? Really? And I was a cracker. But her father was a doctor just up the road to where I live. So
Wow.
she's local, Now, Alice Gorgeous. No government equals no order.
Right.
No, I disagree with that.
She's put a little laughy face next to that, though.
Yes.
There's a lot of
yes, sorry.
There's a lot of sort of debating over the flat Earth, round Earth type stuff on the chat.
There is, isn't there?
Yeah.
Now, EXO. Mate, I think it's square. I think Michael Benting was correct. It's square. Sort of, it's bloody hell. The SAS Survival Handbook is now valued at £223 per second-hand copy. Wish I hadn't lost mine in North Wales in 1991. Well, we could go there and try and find where you left it.
I might sell mine.
Dr. Meyerhill's court case says are worth a bravery. Excellent. I want a lady in here. Dr. Meyerhill. Okay, that's the fourth one. Doctor.
Yeah.
So I'll put this on Telegram and we can vote. I don't know. What do you think? Vote, and I'll give the answers tomorrow, because it'll be on my Telegram channel.
Yeah,
I'll put the poll on there. So so far we got Father Maudsley, Larkin Rose. I think I know who you're going to vote for. E. Michael Jones, Dr. Myhill. I might change, actually. Dr. Myhill. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. So remember, if you want to know my Telegram channel, always open to new members. It's down in the description below here. Okay. And of course, there's always Survival Steve's Telegram channels as well, which are...
The Occult Academy. That's Nathan Lucius and I have got the Occult Academy on Telegram. I've also got what's it called? Survive the Apocalypse with Survival Steve.
That's right. That's it.
Actually, I've branched out onto YouTube with that. So I just need to get started with some content.
By the way, you need to get very friendly. Would you like me to have a word with Paul about that, Paul English, to get you on to the Soapbox and Food for Thought Radio?
It'd be cool, yeah.
That's it. Because, by the way, good evening, everybody, from Food for Thought Radio and Soapbox Radio. And also Patrick's radio station. We got Holy Land Radio and Holy Land FM as well.
Yes.
Have I missed... sorry, Matt, have I missed any out? I think so.
I don't think so.
And by the way, we could have Lindbergh on the list, but the people's got to be alive. So Lindbergh is dead, so unfortunately we can't have him. Sorry.
So now what's the question for the list of people that we're asking?
Well, I'm saying a bravery award
for the year.
For the year,
yeah.
For the year, yeah. For people that stood up against the crowd. And stood bravely. Now, Steve got it last year. So Steve, you got it last year, and you get 3 Fot Bobs for that.
Someone else that I follow is Candace Owens. She kind of stands out against, her naysayers. I think that she's got a lot of naysayers type people, especially after the Charlie Kirk assassination. She was in that crowd and then left it. So I think she'd be one in my book.
She doesn't she hold a lot of popularity on social media?
Yeah. She did. She was given that because she towed the line and then went against that line.
Candace Owens,
which it's kind of interesting, her story and the backstory, and then her husband being the son of one of your lords over there in the House of Lords. I think it was,
Really?
Really?
Her husband's name is George Farmer, and I think her father-in-law is Michael Farmer. So he's one of your Lord Michael Farmer.
Really?
He was big into the precious metals market in London on the exchange, working for that.
I'm in conversation with someone that might be able to get Candace Owens on. I don't know.
You got to be kidding.
I'm not kidding.
Wow.
Might be. But this is the word might. Is a big might, but knows Candace Owens. So keep our fingers crossed. I didn't want to say anything, but let's put it this way. I'm rather pessimistic of it, but you never know because she is very high profile. Let's say, sort of Fockham Hall. Fockham Hall. Who's this little shit? You know, who's this sniffling little shit?
Well, you know, one of the things that she put forward is that Macron's husband isn't a woman. She's actually a dude, and that kind of takes a bit of balls to go against. That
certainly does. In more ways
the establishment.
I like this, the Clint Eastwood statement. What is it? If there's any confusion over sex, a swift kick in the balls normally sorts the problem out. And I say, if a guy thinks he's a dame, what do you got? A guy thinks he's a woman. There's a swift kick in the balls to soon sort any confusion out. As a classic. Now, Mark Antony. Any luck with getting Jerry Marwinski back on the show? Do you know, I mentioned this the other week. Yeah, I'll try and get back. I see he has a new book that's just come out, An Amazing Journey into Psychotic Mind. Yes, because last time he came, last time I came on, I got a week's ban from YouTube. I think it's a little bit better now. I think you can say more on there. So I'll make a note, mate. On my organic smart diary, here it is. This is my Bible. So what is it? Jerry Marwinski. I'm sure he will. Now that's another thing. Do you believe was in? I think it's Polish, isn't it? Marwinski. Nice guy, good guy. Do you believe in demons? I do, because I've actually had demonic attacks, and I've actually come up against them, and I know how they work. Steve, what's your view on demons? Do you believe in
them? Esoterically, they've got a different, probably a slightly different understanding to I don't know, let's just say the paranormal type, suggesting that they are some sort of entity from another dimension or something along those lines. But esoterically, it's often claimed that this is just like a negative character of mind, a characteristic of a mind in an imbalanced negative state. But again, I've not had no direct involvement myself, and I wouldn't denounce anybody's what would you call it, experiences with something along those lines, because I'll be quite honest, even though I'm not massively interested in paranormal type stuff, I've obviously seen people on YouTube videos, etc., who have been in the woods and all these videos with haunted houses, and see things tipping over and this, that, and the other. And it's pretty obvious some of this stuff is just not somebody with a piece of string tied onto an object and moving it around. But so I wouldn't rule any of that out. But demons, I mean, what's your take on that, Eric?
I believe them. I think demons do exist. I think they are in a different realm. What happened is one married into my family, and well, I'm rewriting the book. I wrote a book, and I thought no one's going to believe this, and it was a bit. I wrote it just after I got away from these part of the family that were doing this, and it was a little bit too raw, and making it more of a kind of guidebook. So if anybody else has it, because the fact of the matter is people disbelieve you. So, oh no, that wouldn't happen. No, that didn't happen. And they've got this strange energy with them. There's something odd. Very odd about them.
Are you of the sort of line of thought that a demon can inhabit a human being's body? Or okay, I'm with you.
They take over the mind.
Yeah.
And what happened with me, a close relative took over her mind. So I lost that close relative as far as I'm concerned. It's worse than the bereavement. About sort of 3 decades ago. And what was left is just evil. But that wasn't the original person. So I look on it that person's gone now and it's just been taken over.
Right, okay.
It's the shell that's being used.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to explain. But when you've been through it, it just turns reality on its head because they talk in a way that defies logic. And you're always sort of, for example, as you, in your training, you're taught to expect an enemy to do a certain way, react in a certain way. That is part of your training. So I'm not trying to tell, I hope you don't think I'm rude, but that's soldiers' training.
Yeah.
But when you're up against someone that's demonically possessed, they come back at you in a way you'd never dream. And you're always on the back foot. You always think, what? You don't expect them to come out with things. And I mean, what I had is when my mother died, was you've stolen mother's jewellery. Eh? You've stolen her jewellery. No, I haven't. And then I'd say, well, why have you accused me of stealing, mum's jewellery? I haven't accused you. Eh? I haven't accused you. You just did. No, I didn't. And what it is 2 personalities opposing to each other. So you're thinking, am I going mad? What's going on? And then they'll start again. And then they go back again. And they just keep flicking backwards and forwards to the personalities. And then the original personality will suck you in and then use what you said, any kindness, turn it round as evil back at you. It's unbelievable what they get up to. They're skilled at it. And governments work on exactly the same way. Well, creating suspicion all the time.
It's interesting you mentioned the word evil. I mean, it kind of, as you've talked about Bonhoeffer and stupidity, I'm not here to denounce that demons do or don't exist. I mean, I can't comment on that. I really have had no experience to base that understanding on. But one thing's for sure, when it comes to Bonhoeffer and stupidity, well, he actually claimed that stupidity was actually more dangerous than evil because literally it's harder to combat. Because evil you could almost say you can identify and expose or understand evil, but stupidity in itself is kind of, because it's kind of an inability or a refusal to accept facts or any sort of semblance of reason. He used to claim, or he claimed, that when people are under the influence of power, and let's just say this is kind of what you could say sort of a demonic possession is you could say, in a sense, it's almost like under the influence of something. But under the influence of power, individuals almost become stupefied by surrendering critical thinking and their independent mind. So it makes them more prone or susceptible to levels of manipulation. So I wonder if there's some sort of kind of similar correspondence with demonic possession and, stupidity per se.
Well, Exo said that's classic demonic tactics of flicking the 2 personalities.
All right.
And I mean, I could say more, but I've changed my name in the book, what I've written. I'm rewriting it, but the trouble is I'm finding it a bit emotional. So I'm writing a comedy book at the same time to cheer myself up. But the fact is, and that is a book, or a handbook on, or I'm also writing a handbook on bullshit. Because you think about it, a dictionary you look up how to spell something correctly. You got thesaurus to look up different words, but there's no real guidebook on bullshit. So if someone's bullshitting you, so you be able to go to your book and go, yes, and act like a kind of art critic. Because what I'm saying is bullshit is an art which people pay good money for in a theatre, and you're getting it free of charge. So you got to look at it as a kind of like a theatre critic. Yes. And I think that bullshitting is something that we're the only animal that does it. I mean, when you think about it, animals don't do it, but humans do it, and
well, bulls do.
Bulls, yeah, that's right. So, well, I suppose peacocks do when they sort of strut around. Look at me, a peacock. Actually, this is a bit weird. I had a kinky peacock that wouldn't leave me alone. Seriously.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I was walking around. This bleeding thing was following me, going. Thought I was a peahen or something. Yeah, I didn't identify as one. And actually, that's very kind. I'll have a copy of the book, please. Yes, but it hasn't been finished yet. I'm still rewriting it. But it's very kind of you, Exo. It's much appreciated.
Have you got a name for it yet, Eric?
Yes, there's a name. Surely Not. It's called Oh Surely Not.
Right.
Is one of them. And the bullshit book is AMBO, the Association of Master Bovine Excrement Observers.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
AMBO.
I like the sound of that.
Yes. So there we go. Because the reason I've called the first book Oh Surely Not is that's what people say when you say this has happened. They go, oh, surely not. That's all we got. Oh, surely not.
I must admit, that's not what they say up here in Newcastle.
They say sod off or something.
Well, it's usually got more colourful language attached to it, but I'm sure you can guess.
Yeah. But no, the thing is, I say, I can't stand self-pity. I hate self-pity. And I wrote it as it was just happening, as it was happening and just over 16 years ago. And I saw, I can see in it some self-pity, and I don't want that. I want that to help other people that are going through something like that. Because the only way is to get away from it. Unfortunately, if there's a woman married to a chap or a chap's married to a woman who's going through some form of demonic possession, you've got to get away from it. And it sounds easy. Words are easy. It's easier said than done. But getting away from it was the best thing I've ever done. And as I say, I've had one of them write back to me, and I just told them, please go away. Not interested.
Yeah.
Go away. Yeah. Go away. And I haven't heard anything back.
It's interesting. Earlier today, I was listening. I played on Holy Land Radio, an old. It wasn't that long ago, maybe a few weeks ago. Michael Jones talking about Medjugorje, which is this alleged apparition of the Virgin Mary in Medjugorje, near where Yugoslavia used to be.
Oh, yes, I've heard of that, yes.
Yeah, and he claims it's a deception, and that the people doing it are basically channeling demons in order to get people to come to Medjugorje, and it's also a money laundering operation to boot. So, but at the same time, people are seeing these things like there's a man that he was relating his story to him about how he was in the hotel going to Medjugorje, and he saw this naked woman appear out of nowhere and then walk through a wall. And he's like, how do you explain that? And Michael Jones is like, well, there are things called demons, and there's from what he had been told that area had been demon infested with that sort of thing going on. So it's just kind of reminded me of that incident, that people can use other people in such a way that they bring in those sorts of entities. They call them preternatural entities. Would be what a demon would be. Yeah, that's beyond natural.
Well, I believe is it only Catholic priests that carry out exorcisms? I'm not sure that other religions do.
Yeah, every diocese has one.
I don't know. But do other religions carry out exorcisms? I don't know.
Yeah, I think they do. Like Chinese religions, you get exorcisms. People in Africa, you get.
I thought it was only Catholics. So
no, well, that's the most well known in our, Western what we call Western civilization.
I saw one on television. Now, I don't think it was acted. And there's a woman sitting there, and this priest was getting rid of something nasty inside her. And this woman started speaking as an elderly man. And the vocal cords of a woman could not speak like that. It was something inside her, and he was getting it out of her all the time.
Yeah.
This bloke was bloody brave, I tell you that. That priest knew what he's doing.
What I've heard is that these demons, they want you to seek out these private revelations, like the Virgin Mary appearing and that kind of thing, in order to get you to believe whatever they want you to believe and do what they want you to do. Yeah, and then he was also saying that people would go there, married couples would go there, and then come back from the pilgrimage and end up divorcing each other. Like there was a high rate of divorce over these people going on pilgrimage.
Now this is a different one. What about was it one of Fatima? That one was
Fatima, yeah.
Yes, that is. I think that might be different because Bishop Williamson was on about Fatima, wasn't he? He was very much into that.
Yeah. But there's certain prophecies that ring true, like with Russia and that sort of thing.
Now, Mark Anthony said, get in touch with the BBC, Eric. They know all about bullshit. That's a good one. Now, Barefoot Forager. Just catching up. Did you say Earth is stationary, Eric? I thought you were clever enough to make sundials. Yes, I do make sundials. I think the Earth might be stationary.
I think it is. I believe in heliocentrism. The sun revolves around or moves around the Earth. And the sun, then you take the sundial and you can measure and gauge time and movement of time based on how the sun moves.
Well, the thing is the geometry works out perfect for around Earth. And we're, I think it's 21 degrees north. Spain is 38 degrees north. And the figures sort of go up with, this is as you go further towards the North Pole. And sundials are fascinating. I've always had a fascination for sundials. And flat ones are difficult to actually, or the wall ones are very difficult because you've got to get the geometry just spot on with those. But they're easy to make, very easy to make,
Well, that sort of thing, the astronomy is very fascinating when you think about it, like the cycles of the moon and the sun and eclipses. I read just recently, I didn't know about this, but I think it's the last quarter of a moon is when the eclipses happen. They never happen on a full moon.
Really? And what about full moon? The police used to take on extra staff because people go a bit loopy-loo, and a full moon.
It makes sense too in just a natural way because you can see where you're going on a full moon a lot better than you can on a new moon. So people will be more likely to go out and about in the night on a full moon than they would when it's completely dark and they can't see where they're going.
It's fascinating. Now, Steve, the thing is, I think the big problem that we've got about getting rid of government or changing things is an objective. Now, in both our professions, we had objectives. With my profession, it was getting the bleeding building design to a certain time. Your objective was to beat an enemy. But the truth movement doesn't have an objective. What is the objective? It's just sort of, what are we going to do about it? Yeah.
The objective is the truth, though.
Yeah.
Should be.
I mean, really, you could say the objective of the truth and freedom movement is the truth and freedom, but sadly, because, and I don't want to say because of stupidity, but I think it's kind of topical with it being the fact that that's what tonight's show is kind of about. But in a sense, what is lacking is really a sense of understanding anything different. I think there's obviously a massive gap. I mean, I obviously promote something called natural law on the Occult Academy, and the means to obtain that understanding is through studying occult. I often use the term occult science simply because it is a science that kind of shows the spiritual laws or hidden laws in nature that can change the mindset of the average person if they're open and honest with themselves and willing to become educated in a certain line of inquiry. If I could easily say, well, yeah, get rid of government and the world would be a more peaceful place. But most people can't contemplate that because it takes quite a lot of deep internal contemplation and philosophizing to reach that conclusion. So it's pointless me just giving an answer. People need to come to that answer through their own inquiry. And this is kind of where I might sound like I'm having another dig at the truth movement here, but the human race, in a sense, just wants the easy life. Everybody wants an easy life. It actually takes, some people just want to be given the answer by another person because it saves them the time and effort of coming to that conclusion of one's own accord. That in itself is almost like a state of stupidity because when we are faced with the power and influence of something external to us, that we're quite happy to allow them, that organization, that person, that group to take control of our thoughts. So we end up losing the ability to think rationally, to think outside of the box. And we will go along with this superior power. Again, this is kind of something that Bonhoeffer would talk about, how people are subverted by power. And certainly he would often say that fear and social oppression would be one of the biggest forms for people falling into this kind of, it's like a mind trap. We're falling into that trap through fear and social oppression. And we look for answers, we look for leadership. And usually the people who offer these answers and this sort of leadership are probably the wrong people in the world to be doing it.
And spot right on.
Yeah. Which isn't that what the truth movement wants, though, is to have those leaders be in line with the truth rather than deceptive?
They do theoretically, but in practice they don't. Because I mean, I obviously promote what is generally considered to be the occult, but as soon as that word gets mentioned, even people in the truth and freedom movement,
they think of Satanism and demons.
Exactly.
And it isn't occult, isn't it?
And of course, trying to explain that, I mean, to be fair, Patrick, you've got a big point, because the occult incorporates Satanism, it incorporates demonology, it incorporates a lot of things that are of a negative influence in life, but it also incorporates the other side of the scale, which is things such as natural law and morality. But of course, when you mention these two words, a lot of people think that, oh, well, I'm a moral human being because I don't mean anybody any harm. But then they'll still go out and vote or fund government. And of course, well, you might not do anything physical yourself as an individual to cause harm to another, but you'll quite willingly oblige those who do. So government, of course, are immoral. They always will be. They can't operate outside of an immoral context, because everything they do incorporates acts of violence, theft, and other forms of what would be called transgressions of natural law.
It kind of reminds me of the story of Thomas Becket in your country, where the king, I forget who the king was at the time, I think Shakespeare did a play on it, where he basically said, "Who will rid me of this priest?" And he wasn't the one that actually killed Thomas Becket, but his actions and his words led to the slaughter of the priest.
Right. I mean, that's a perfect sort of example. And but because let's just say, because people aren't physically taking part in that, let's just say, immoral action, then they've kind of assume that they've got no culpability in the creation of that harm or wrongdoing. But again, this is what the belief and the adherence to government is. It's causing harm. It might not be, we might not be the initiators of that harm, but we're condoning it through our behaviors, our acts and omissions, through a medium called government, which of course the word government, for those who weren't aware, comes from the Latin term gubernare mentis, which means mind control. So it works on a mind control level, and I think this kind of ties into certainly what Bonhoeffer had to state with his observations. And again, if people aren't aware of him and his works, I definitely recommend what he's got to offer, because he, like I said, he said stupidity grows in times of social unrest and fearful conditions. And then what happens is we as individuals cease to act as responsible moral agents with the agency through ourself, and then we become what you could claim to be sort of passive instruments for the agendas of others. And of course, we just have to look at the last 6 years to see how people have acted and reacted under social oppression and fear.
It's spot on. It's spot on. And what they do every time in the news, which is they get, let's face it, all the news, mainstream news, get their information from Reuters. Reuters is owned by the Rothschilds. They've been talking about revolution. Yeah, they want a revolution. Why?
Yeah.
Because they'll finance both sides. And then if someone comes along who offers everybody goodies, who tells people what they want to hear, they get into power and they become the worst dictator you could ever wish to think of.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And that's what they do, because these people want to wipe out the population and cause misery.
Exactly. And one of the best ways to do that is under the fog of war. And I mean, my background is military, so I'm massively knowledgeable on how military tactics, etc., work and are propagated. And what we're seeing now, and definitely, I would say America's definitely in the forefront of this at the moment, but the rest of Europe, including the UK, will follow suit very shortly, simply because what's happening across then. I'm sure Patrick's observed this himself, living in that country, but civil war is very likely, if in fact I would say technically it's already started, but what we tend to think of as a civil war is neighbours fighting neighbours and, guns and bombs or whatever else, people hurting each other. It doesn't necessarily have to involve conflict, but there's two opposing dialectics. And of course, when you've got a dialectic like that, somebody's going to take control of that. And of course, that interim control and agency is the government. And they've caused these problems leading up to this in the first instance. So there's another good case for eradicating government. You want peace, want a more peaceful coexistence. Well, you're never going to get that when you've got government, because government don't want peace.
They don't like us. They hate us. They want us off the face of the earth. And if you think Mr. Keir Starmer is there to aid us, why is he a member? And the same with King Sausage Fingers of the World Economic Forum. And they're these creepy little organisations that are all talking about depopulation. And when you look, I've been writing about the NHS and that, and when you look at the founder of the NHS, when I say the founder, the architect who designed it, it was designed in 1943 and it was started in 1948. And that was William Beveridge. He was second in command of the Eugenics Society. And do you know who's first in command? Winston Churchill. There we go.
Surprise.
Man responsible for the deaths of 4 million Indians.
Yeah, and not only that, you had the people that made those Lancaster bombers. The Avro Company was married to Maria Stopes, who runs all, now you've got
clinics.
You've got all those Stopes clinics where you get people getting vasectomies and murdering their babies. So it's like, that's eugenics right there, too.
Are the Stopes clinics all over America? Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you then. It's most rude of me. sorry about that. Are the Stokes clinics throughout America?
They called them Planned Parenthood, and it wasn't.
No.
It was the Margaret Sanger who actually inspired Maria, or was it Maria Stopes? Marie Stopes.
Now we got Aunt Sally says lunatic is descriptive because it's lunar related. That's correct. That's right. And sorry, we need a update on what area of the bath are you getting into the bath, in the bath, or out of the bath. By the way, any people that know Dr. Fleetwood, I went and saw Miles on Friday. I got some sad news. The Crystal Man has unfortunately passed away. So I'm sorry to hear that. He was a man that bought crystals, and he used to come into his shop and show people, say, do you want to see more crystals? I quite like that. No, but he was a collector of crystals. And he had a heart attack. He apparently didn't know anything about it. Just straight out. He may have had the...
Clot shot?
Yes, yes.
Now, well, rest in peace.
We got into a bit of an argument here. I wouldn't say argument, a friendly, gentlemanly conversation about flat Earth. And what have we got here? Embryo 4000. Now, could that man be our transport minister? Could be.
I think it is.
I think it is, yes. How would a sundial be an accurate timekeeper on a planet that NASA tells us is wobbling and tilting all over the place? Yes, it has a 38-degree wobble, and that's why in February you can't get the sundial isn't accurate, and the Romans used sundials, and that's why the hour was only 40 minutes in the winter, and it was, I might have got this around the wrong way around, and a full hour in the summer, or it might have been the other way around, but no, I think that's it. It was 40 minutes in the winter and an hour in the summer. That's it. But the Egyptians had sundials. I think you can still see them around in the ancient Egyptians I'm talking about. And oh God, it's got. I think I've metaphorically thrown a lighted match into a petrol Bowser. But a sundial. Then we got here. But a sundial would be perfect timekeeper on a stationary realm where it is the sun traveling over the earth each and every day. Yeah, well, that's it. That's why I think that the earth might be stationary. I don't know. On a full moon, we can feel immense pressure, which if people don't understand would lead to aggression, etc. Yes, and I agree with what you say, Paul, about or Embryo 4000, that the moon promotes coldness. It's freezing cold. Yes, I agree with you. The sun is hot and the moon is cold. So there we go. So that's it. Now, what we got here? If you believe, so Barefoot Foreigner. So if you believe we landed on the moon, why do you think that the powers would tell us the truth about where we live? I know they lie on an epic scale. Well, I don't think they ever landed on the moon. What in a tin? Went there in a tin can. And I think Blue Peter with their bits of sticky tape could have made something better than what they landed on the bleeding moon with. Come on. Now we got here. I might have got this out of red ants and black ants in a jar. Paul, how do you split a movement in two? Introduce flat Earth psyop led by Pied Pipers. There we go. Really started off something there.
I think that's the best answer so far. It is. It's like the biggest argument we can have, isn't it? What shape the Earth is.
Okay. Well, does it really matter in this stage? I have great respect for both sides of the argument. Let's put it that way. I used to believe in certain things. I mean, let's put it this way. I used to believe that Santa Claus existed, but now I don't. So, there we are. But now we got here. Are you are looking at it through a linear perception? Am I? I don't know. Now Nathan Lucius says you are falling into left brain extremism via splitting. It's either all white or all black, no muddle ground. Going in really works that way. Nothing in reality. Sorry, nothing in reality works that way. That's right. Nothing is black and white. Everything is a bit of a.
I wonder if we'll ever know how. I wonder if there'll ever be something definitive proof that will help everyone come to a common understanding. I wonder if we'll ever see that.
Well, was it NASA stands for never a straight answer, isn't it?
Mm.
I mean, it's a bit like NAFI. I don't think you still have NAFIs, do you? I don't think.
I think they started calling it something else or something.
Is it all private now? I mean, you used to get.
Yeah, I think so.
They don't put stuff in Soldier's tea, do they? Because they brought out NAFI tea, which you buy in Tesco's. People say, I'm not drinking that. It's got bleeding bromide in it, innit?
Apparently that was the case. I don't know when that stopped, to be honest. But hey, God knows what they used to stick in the rations and everything. Who knows what?
Yeah. But the thing is that talking about the Apollo thing, I went to the Science Museum and saw the command module that's supposed to have come back from the moon. And this is when I was at college. About 20 of us blokes walked in, convinced they'd landed on the moon, and 20 of us blokes walked out convinced they didn't land on the moon. We was laughing our heads off at it. We just thought it was a bleeding joke. I mean, can you imagine something the space of underneath your stairs? Okay, that's the size. 3 blokes, admittedly weightless. It'd be very, shall we say, intimate, wouldn't it? Where you got your hand? Oi, bash! Oh shit! Boom! Trying to get into their spacesuits.
Yeah,
there's all these switches, knobs, and levers, and Christ knows what all over the place. And you're floating around, and there's 3 blokes in the space of what's underneath your stairs into that space. So get your bloody foot out my face and where is your hand? Oh, it's between 2 pillows. That's not 2 pillows. Ah!
You see, do you know who the real winners of conspiracies are? The real winners of conspiracies are the people who control us. Because when we're occupying ourselves with and don't get me wrong, I find a lot of this stuff fascinating. But when we're trying to argue behind who landed on the moon, whether it was a psyop, what shape the Earth is, all of this kind of stuff. Let's just say it's all conspiracy stuff. It's things that we'll argue over. What we're not arguing over is why are we still under the ownership and direction of other people? Why are we not free? Why we're still fighting each other? And why does a lot of the things going on in the world suck? Why? Because we're too busy occupying ourselves with nonsense when we could be starting to look outside the box for answers and solutions to problems that we've created for ourselves. One of those answers is something called natural law, yet there's many people in the truth and freedom movement still don't know what that's about, or they don't have enough knowledge of it, so they can't apply it. But they'll be able to argue the shape of the Earth for forever, or who shot JFK. That's all interesting stuff, but it's never going to solve any of the problems. And one of the biggest problems we've got in the world at the minute is a lack of freedom.
That's right. And I think also when they're talking about a revolution, we say, no, we're too busy for a revolution. Sod off and have your own revolution. We're busy ignoring governments, all right? So piss off. We're not interested. And the other thing they do, they always make the natives fight each other. Black and white. This race against that race, anti this, anti that. It's all bullshit. That's what they do every bloody time. Get the natives a bit restless. And this is how empires are built. What they do, they stir up trouble between two different tribes, and then you get send your lot in as peacekeepers. Oh yes, we've got to, we've got to keep the peace. This is what they did in South Africa. There's two tribes that hated each other. So what do? They stirred up trouble between them. So they're as peacekeepers.
But practically everything that's going on in politics now is the exact same thing. It's just divide and conquer strategies. And I mean, the hilarious thing I think is the fact that we still defend it because we still defend the organisation that creates it and torments us with it, which is the government. But again, if that's a debate for another time, that's fine because, like I say, I'll easily win that one. I'll probably win that debate within 30 seconds, I reckon.
Excellent.
But I mean, I was going to say I'll be happy for any contender, the two gentlemen you mentioned, or anybody else for that matter, if they want to publicly humiliate themselves.
Right. Let's put it out there.
Happy to...
So anybody that believes we need government, okay, I will be as fair could be. And as I did with the flat earth and the round earth one, the first person on is at a disadvantage. So I will try and help the first one that speaks. And I'll be totally neutral. And the only time I'll cut in is if someone speaks over somebody, which they won't do, or if they're being personal and het up and rude, and that, which they won't do, because this is a gentlemanly, or could be a lady gentlemanly discussion. And what our aim is to do what the Victorians and Edwardians did, discuss things politely with total respect for the other person who has the opposing view. So you're not talking down to anything like that, so that the audience can make up their own mind. That's all it's for. So, and Exile says the bromide thing was World War One. Yeah, it probably was.
Was it?
Now, Nathan Lucius, who's he? Have you heard of him? Some geezer. I don't know. Are you? Because he's not the one that wrote a book, which I wouldn't plug.
Hey!
I don't plug books on here. You see, I just wouldn't. It's just not worth plugging this book. Available on Amazon and all good bookshops. I don't sell mugs or anything like that. Anyway, are you sure Sacha Stone isn't a massive shill based upon his many... Sacha Stone.
Who is that?
I don't know either. It's based on his many baseless and disproved claims, especially concerning QAnon, etc. Who is Sacha Stone? I've heard of that.
Well, you're mentioning QAnon. That kind of tips me off to...
That's a load of bullshit.
QAnon. Yeah, BS. Of sorts.
Sacha Stone, I'll be honest, I've not seen anything from him for a number of years, but he's a very good speaker. I think he's a bit of a kind of a new age type guy, but he's a very very good sort of public speaker. I mean, I think a lot of people probably kind of hang on to his every word simply because he's so eloquent with his with these presentations.
You know a bit about the QAnon phenomenon, don't you? It's more or less.
Posh.
Well, it's more or less like there's this website called 4chan back in the day, and this poster named QAnon would post on the social media site there, and he would always post these cryptic type things that were said to be what's taking place in the government, and they're gonna make mass arrests of criminals in the government, the leaders, and that sort of thing, and just kind of stringing people on to believe that something major was going to happen. And
the one I know what you mean. I mean, the one was that all these people, who was it? There's lots of film stars now, are actually dead, and it's lookalikes that are taking their part. Bullshit. Sorry. There's have you heard that one? That they've been found guilty, been killed, and it's lookalikes that's taking.
It's hard to follow some of this stuff. Yeah, there's
no
a little crazy
evidence. I mean, it's a bit like Stonehenge. Right. There's some ding dong Russian bloke who's put that Stonehenge. He's never been to Stonehenge in his life. He's probably never left Russia in his life, and he probably sits in his bed sitting bleeding Russia. So Stonehenge was built in the 50s. Bullshit. And he's got the pictures to prove it. Yeah, because when I was a kid, I went to Stonehenge, and there was an exhibition there on how they rebuilt it. with the same photos as this stupid soz showing on the internet. They rebuilt it in 1950s, but there's pictures that there's paintings of Stonehenge going back to the 16th century and Christ knows when. It's been there for years. So, it always, and the other one is, they got there. I think you can get electricity from the ether, but the best one I've seen so far was the bloke took a picture of a lightning conductor, on a church. And underneath this lightning conductor was the a surveyor's Newlyn datum plate. Now, Newlyn is in Cornwall, and it's what they measure as sea level. Okay, and everywhere people went in the Victorian times, they used to have these plates on the wall, which was a line with a line going up and one going 45 degree one way and one going 45 degree the other way, and there'd be numbers underneath. Okay, I know because when I did some surveying in the I'm not a surveyor, but you have to do this in architecture. When I did some surveying in the City of London, I used them, and they were in feet and inches, and I converted them to metric, and they were spot on accurate. And the Victorians did that on government buildings and all over the place. And this bozo said that the lightning conductor wasn't a lightning conductor; it was getting ether from the Earth. And this Newlyn datum, which he didn't know what it was the plug that he used to plug things in. Shit. It's Newlyn datum line. It's nothing to do with that. This is what we got, and I think that is bullshit, complete bullshit. And I bet it irritates you, Steve. Do you ever see on the internet people talking about weapons which you know about, talking complete bullshit about them?
Do you know what I mean? I think it's all part of life's rich tapestry to listen to everybody's opinions on things. To be honest, I find a lot of debates and topics are quite fascinating. I mean, I was talking about conspiracies earlier, and I say that we need to spend less time devoting our time to conspiracies because it's not going to get us any further forward. I mean, I find them fascinating and interesting. I even talk about certain things, and I've done presentations on a lot of this stuff for a number of years, but ultimately this isn't really going to get us any further forward. We've got to we don't even have to agree on everything. We've just got to basically, we've just got to understand a few dynamics of nature. And again, that is immutable. That truth will never be unfounded because it cannot be unfounded because it's provably and demonstrably true. So we can let that be a guideline for us to come up with solutions to some of the problems that we have in life, which is, of course, we need more freedom, we need less tyranny, and we need to have a greater degree of peace. Now, all these things are achievable, but they need to be achievable by focus and focusing on things that will actually change the dynamics to allow that. And this is what, and like I say, like I keep saying, and like I'll always keep saying, is it has to be generated through something called natural law. And if not enough people are familiar with it, then they can't apply it. And then for the things that we want will not change.
You got
I don't know. That doesn't really answer also, the question about weapons.
But they're muddying the narrative. What they're doing, they're muddying the work. So with conspiracies, yes, there's genuine ones, but for every one genuine one, they're putting about 3 or 4 stupid things in to muddy the area.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
But with weapons,
don't get me wrong.
Yeah, sorry, carry on, mate. It's okay.
No. You were going to mention something about.
What I was going to say about weapons is that I saw this thing on Clarkson many years ago, and they showed you. He said, "Now this is what they show you on the films, and you see the police shoot, or there's a shootout, and they're hiding behind the door of a car, And what they did, I think they did this in America. They had a door of a car and they put dummies behind there, and they used the same guns that was in this film, and it blew the crap out of the dummies. They said, shooting yourself behind a car door is a waste of space. It's not going to save you. And they also did an experiment where the bullet went straight through the car, straight through the dummies, and straight out the other side.
Oh, easily, yeah. So we had an expression for cars in the military, in the army. We called them bullet magnets. So, not bullet magnets,
Really?
and they'll not stop bullets. No. Bullet magnets. Why?
Bullet
Because
magnet. That's a good one.
if somebody's involved in a little bit of rat-a-tat-tat on an opposing side, you could say, and they see a bunch of blokes round about a car, that car almost attracts the interest of the person with wielding the weapon. So if you're inside it or near it, it's going to attract a lot of the little lead hornets, which will be buzzing past, and the skin of a car is not going to offer you any protection whatsoever.
That's a good point. What do you think of these drones? I think they're bleeding frightening. I've seen them. Was it Lancaster chap? He's the reporter in Russia, American reporter. Patrick Lancaster, and he's a very brave man. And he was in the back of this Russian track, and there's this bloody drone, and they're taking pot shots at the little bastard. They got it down in the end, but they're frightening.
Oh, it's a frightening little tool that's being used, and certainly what's in the Ukraine conflict, it's causing an awful lot of carnage. And I must admit, I'm glad they weren't kind of prolific when I was stupid enough to be involved in that level of altercation. Now, but that's the simple solution. Why be in a job that you've got to get engaged in killing each other? I mean, it's nuts. I mean, I was obviously there once, so I understand how it happens. But ultimately, I've come to terms with the fact that the only justification was I was a stupid moron. So there needs to be less stupid morons on the face of the earth.
You were actually you were in the University of Life, and you got your qualifications from learning from that. I was a stupid moron. The things I believed in, but again, as in the University of Life, you have accepted those qualifications, and you're using them. Very few people use them because they don't know. I mean, quite honestly, a moron is a person that keeps doing the same thing over and over and over and over again and think it's going to be a change. No, not that. You had to go through what you went through to understand to where you've got now. You wouldn't be where you are now unless you went through that.
I agree. I agree with you massively there, but also, I mean, I wouldn't have had to go through and learn the hard way, you could say, if I was in a culture or a society that actually embraced some of these moral concepts and taught it to individuals, you know. So really, I'm hoping that if I mean, and don't get me wrong, I will quite often slag off the military, the government, the police, etc., but I was in that organisation, and at the time, I loved it. It was brilliant. I had to work with some cracking blokes. I had some excellent opportunities and some, loads of great stuff. But ultimately, this needs to become subject to history. We need to move on from this and create something that doesn't involve the needless suffering and slaughter of, hundreds and thousands of young men who are just basically brainwashed by the fabric and trappings of society, and by an entity called government who actually don't care less that these things goes on. But do you know what? Let me mention Bonhoeffer again, because I've mentioned the fact that, this stuff is stupidity. I mean, warfare is stupidity. That's it. It's the best word for it, stupidity. But it's not a lack of intelligence. It's a moral collapse. So, I mean, I talk about morality and natural law. Stupidity is a moral collapse because we know for a fact that highly educated individuals can become stupid when they surrender their own ability to think independently. And that's what we all need to be. We need to become able to think independently through embracing concepts and understanding deeper connections of how the human mind and the universe works, which is what occultism was all about.
You two like to read. I'm reading at the moment St. Augustine's City of God. It's from the 300s, and it was during the time when the Roman Empire was transferring power from the pagan to the Christian, and there had been a sack on Rome, and the Christians were being blamed for bringing in their god and causing all the disaster. And Augustine goes into all of the gods that the Roman pagans had and how they didn't save them in the past from disasters and civil wars and strife and assassinations. And yet, at the same time, I found it interesting because they used to have like actors do all of these things for these gods, and they made a law that said that at first they didn't have these things; they were outlawed in the older civilization. But then as time went on, they started adding more gods to it as they conquered more places. And they'd have these games, that led to the gladiator sport and that kind of thing. But then they'd have these actors that would act out these rituals and things. And theater became a big part of distracting people from moral issues. And they made a law that none of the actors could be in any position of authority, that actors were looked down upon as such, because they tolerated, they actually lauded them for their theatrical performances and that sort of thing. But they made a law that said that you can't trust the actors to command military and that sort of thing. And it just reminds me now of the actors that we have in our governments, like Donald Trump. He was an actor before he became president. Zelensky. He was an actor before he became president.
Yeah,
and look at the garbage that they've gotten up to as a consequence of being actors allowed to do that sort of thing. But the thing that really sticks out to me, there's this part of the book where he's actually taken this idea from Seneca, who was a writer back in the day, Seneca. And he says, whatever evils are inflicted upon just men by unjust masters are not the punishments for crime, but the test of virtue. Therefore, the good man is free even if he is a slave, whereas the bad man is a slave even if he reigns, a slave not to one man, but what is worse, to as many masters as he has vices. Which that's where we kind of
brilliant words.
That is. Barefoot Foreigner says, "I love Sasha Stone, Russell Brand." I think she's being sarcastic. Russell Brand, Alex Jones, you sounds of his. But as I told you that Jimmy Carr, there's a conspiracy that I reckon he's a comedian. Some people do.
They're actors.
Tommy Robinson,
actor.
Nigel Farage,
actor. All these people.
Elon Musk,
yeah?
Katie Hopkins. Oh bloody hell! Yes. Katie Shimarani, or Kate Hopkins. I mean, I think she's a Mossad agent, isn't she? Andrew Tate, Charlie Ward, Mark Still, AJ Roberts.
Yeah, they're my favourites as well. AJ Roberts, yeah. Charlie Ward, yeah.
What's this now? Kate also struck off from being registered as a nurse, speaking up against the JAB. Yes. But
I bet none of them know anything about natural law. Although presumably Sasha Stone might, but everybody else, they'll just be talking garbage till the end of time.
Well, the thing is an EXO says Charlie Ward is dupe shit. Is a dupe shit.
Is he still on the go?
I don't know. I haven't looked in for ages. Now where have we got here? Answer. Do you mean Katie Hopkins? Well, Katie Hopkins, I mean, she's so, quite honestly, her and Tommy Tucker, as I call him, they're so pro a country we're not allowed to criticise. It's frightening. I mean, supposing Patrick, us three, okay, we went out on and we showed a flag of a foreign country, and we started protesting, say Greenland, Greenland, wee. Or France. So what the bleed hell are you doing with that flag? What are you protesting here for? But they can run around with an Israeli flag and nobody bats an eyelid. Why? It doesn't.
Funny that, isn't it?
Yes.
Hey, do you know what? Why don't you get Charlie Ward on your show? Actually, I think
Charlie
he
Ward?
does. Oh, you don't want to know.
Well, no. What's his occupation?
Oh, it's a good one. I think he's just a. I think you could call him a conspiracy researcher, I guess. But you might be fortunate because I'm not sure if he's cracked America yet.
No,
I think he's but he was. I think
I've heard the name, but I can't put a face to the name.
Yeah,
or a voice to the name.
Save yourself the heartache and don't even research.
Yeah. I just wanted to mention this quote that I saw earlier today. That we have Fox News over here, which is it's the Sky News people, the Murdoch Corporation people. There's this host on there, Greg Gutfeld, and he said, "We get paid to talk, and we get paid to shut up." Now the big money is where they get paid to shut up, I think, because they don't talk about the real issue. They talk about whatever they're paid to talk about, and then when they see something important, they're paid to shut up about it. And that's those characters that you listed off. That's what I think they're paid actors. They're nothing more than to get people. It's almost like the gatekeepers or the military recruiters that go out and they're like, what's the best way we can find the most active people who will be supporters and have the most followers? Well, we go out and we start a protest. And then we see in the crowd who's gaining the most voice when they're talking to people. And we'll recruit those people for our military operation or whatever they're doing. And I think that's what goes on with like these patriot rallies and that kind of thing where they're all flying the flag.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark Antony says, Charlie Ward equals professional bullshitter. But the fact is, I mean, what gets me is that we've really put the cat amongst the pigeons here, haven't we, with this one? But now a lot of these people, it's just they're the false what's-its, isn't it? And by the way, that's a nice tattoo you got there. When did you get it? I mean,
are you talking about me?
Yeah.
Oh, which one?
What's the one on your arm?
Which? Oh, wait a second.
You got one on the other arm.
Check that bad boy out.
That's a banana.
Now, you were talking about stupidity theory. There was definitely something stupid going on in my head.
Was you a bit Mozart and Liszt when you had that? You know,
I think, yeah.
Or the sherbets.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you know what? I would have got rid of that. I was going to get that tattooed over several years ago, but I forget where I was, but I was talking to some American Green Berets, and they thought it was hilarious. So I ended up keeping it just out of respect for those guys because they said it was pretty cool and I had a good laugh over it. Oh, and then after that strange conversation, this is what you talk about when you're a military goon like myself. After talking about crazy tattoos, we then had conversations about Bigfoot. So I was asking several of these guys, what do they call Bigfoot in their state? So I don't know if you can elaborate on that, Patrick. What do you call Bigfoot in
Bigfoot?
What's
in Wisconsin?
Yeah, do you have any?
Sasquatch?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've got this company nearby us that makes beef jerky and jerky products. You know, meat that's been dried and flavored, and they use Sasquatch as their mascot. So that, yeah.
Oh wow.
Is there many sightings? Is there many sightings where you live? Or
no. It's like the Loch Ness monster, you know. It's a folk tale.
Well, there's a lot down Lee Valley. There's quite a few sightings down there. And I was riding my bike along once, and with the Lee Valley, you sometimes go for about 10, 15 minutes without seeing a soul. Or something like I thought, if I saw one now, by the time I get my bleeding phone out and took a picture of it, the bloody thing, it's not going to pose, is it? It's not going to go, okay, hang on, it's my better side here,
Hey, speaking of which, there's actually one in the northeast. Allegedly, it's called the Bowlam Lake Bigfoot, and
Really?
I mean, people have. I mean, I've been to that place many times. It's not far outside of Newcastle. It's a bit of a country park, and it's probably the most unlikely place I would have thought you'd see anything along those lines. But apparently, there's been sightings of it.
Right, Stephen Truthseeker says, I've researched Sasquatch, Dogman, etc., and there's a place near Birmingham.
Dogman. Yeah.
Dogman. And where is it now? Oh, it's supposed to be really weird.
Well, the Romans and the Egyptians had dogmen, and I forget the name of it. Actually, I was reading The City of God by St. Augustine, and he was talking about their group of people that, the gods, that kind of thing. The dog-faced god. So it kind of shows that the idea has been around since ancient times in every culture, that kind of thing.
Well, does Dogman sort of come along and sort of sniff your backside?
Like Wolfman.
Do you know what? I wonder if Dogman and Bigfoot have arguments in the forest about the shape of the earth.
Yeah, they might do. Well, do you remember those blokes? They was somewhere, I don't know, somewhere in America, and they're going bash, bash, bash with a piece of wood against a tree, and they listen, and sure enough, they get an answer. Boom, boom, boom. But it's probably two other blokes that are searching for Bigfoot right on the other side of the hill, thinking, bleeding hell, we got contact. And they're probably doing it all day. But I think there's something in it. Oh, it's Alvin Kurt. Hello, mate. You're coming on the show soon. One day. You're well and welcome. There's Alvin Kurt. Evening all. Here we go. And no, I actually do believe there's something in it because it's been reported for years and years and years back, and yeah, I do think there is something in it. But the trouble is, wherever there is an element of truth, there's always got a couple of arseholes that's going to muddy the waters. Always happens every time.
Yeah.
Now, hang on. Alvin Kurt said, what about the beast of Bodmin Moor, rumoured to be a large black cat?
Oh,
yes, there's been pictures of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You see, I think this is why they should bring back guns. So I would like a gun, please. Preferably something like, I don't know, an M16 or something, an AR-15. I'll have one of those, please, just in case I have a Bigfoot encounter and nothing else.
Well, it's like in Switzerland, you can actually walk along the road, as long as it's covered up, with a rifle over your shoulder. I think same in Israel. Just walk around with a rifle over your shoulder.
Yeah, you can do that in Texas.
Yeah.
Certain states will do that. You can do it.
Yes.
Open carry, they call it.
Yeah. Is it right? There's signs on houses that says every caller is met with an armed response.
Yeah, that's the thing. We've got 911 over here. I think you've got 999 or whatever it is.
That's right. No.
There's signs that have a gun on it, that the picture of a gun, and it says, "We don't dial 911."
But I like what Larkin Rose says about crime. He says, if someone's going to come and rob you, you contact the police, and they say, "Oh yeah, we'll be round in, next week or whatever it is." No, you call a bloke round the corner who's a crack shot. He comes round and protects you.
Exactly. Yeah. Or protect yourself because you're tooled up for that task, and you've got the attitude to support it. I'll tell you what, I would like to obviously encourage Lock and Road amongst your fine viewers. I'd imagine some of them are aware. If not, I would definitely highly recommend Lock and Rose's It's almost daily podcasts he's doing nowadays, because he's obviously highly aggravated with the way the world's turning out. So definitely check him out.
Yes, brilliant books. He's on YouTube as well, Larkin Rose. And well, if he's got a website, I could ask him. You can say sod off, can't he? Really? I mean, let's face it.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think I was going to get Dr. Myhill on, but I did, you know. But Bigfoot Lives Matter. Now, here's something. Couldn't we identify as being Bigfoot? They haven't had that one, have they?
Yeah, I like
identify. Well, it's supposed to be. Was it 60? Is it 67 sexes now? Is there two?
Oh, is there?
Is it? I don't know.
I think they're done with that crap.
Well, I hope they have.
I hope they're done. I haven't heard much of it in politics lately.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like we get it has to do with the president. Whatever president we have in power ends up being the one that sets the tone for the rest of the country, because everybody's all like waiting for the word of the president or whatever their politics are, and it's like, you know, like, so Joe Biden, during his reign, he was promoting that garbage. So we were getting it all the time, and then now we got Trump, and he's not doing it. So it's like, that's cliche. It's done, passe.
Yeah.
The genders. We're done with
that's
that.
Right.
Do you know what?
I'm glad we have.
Maybe that's what
in this country. Sorry, carry on.
I was just going to say, maybe that's what Bigfoot actually is. It's the survivors of the last generation, when the world, during the last apocalypse, when the world went bananas, just like it is now. These guys just took off and lived in the woods, and that's what they
It
they
could
are.
be time
Hey,
slips.
who knows?
Time slips. And of course, you've got the rock apes in Vietnam, and apparently American units fired at them.
Yeah, I've heard of
during
that.
the Vietnam War. But now, but we could start a new movement. We identify as being Bigfoot. so we don't pay any tax for Bigfoot. You see, you can't do that. You know. And let's face it, you know, if you're out and you caught short, you don't have to go to the lavvy, do you? Because you're Bigfoot, you know.
Yeah, but you got to be over 7 feet tall in order to qualify.
Yeah.
No, we're midget Bigfoots.
Okay.
Yeah. And we can't have discrimination against midget Bigfoots.
You're right.
Yeah.
Hairless ones.
Hairless, yeah. We'd never get away with it.
I couldn't get away with it. But Rawhead Rex says, I like bows more than ever and can do things with arrows impossible with a bullet. So come on, armaments expert Steve. Bows and arrows. Ta-da!
It's better to have one than nothing. That's for sure.
Yes.
I mean, I've only got a pea shooter, so the bow and arrow would trump me in a firefight. But I mean, personally, I wouldn't want to go up against what we've got nowadays in terms of military and police, who, let's just say, they turned rogue and they actually their true colours came to surface. I wouldn't want to be up against a professional team just with a bow and arrow, but having said that, it's better than nothing.
And also, you got me into catapults.
Oh, yeah.
And the other thing, I always thought, sorry, you used a catapult like that, but you don't use it sideways. They're bleeding accurate, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and I can well recommend the Slingshot channel with the German fella. Now, let me show you its features. Ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
He's bloody brilliant. What's his name now?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's the Slingshot channel on YouTube. Highly recommended. And I'd like to get him on this show, actually. Hey, him and you would be getting on bleeding well together, wouldn't they?
Hey, slingshots as well. That's a formidable tool as well, you know. For catapults as well. If you needed something in a survival situation to take down small game, flocks of bird, for example, a catapult or a slingshot.
Would you do that?
Great. Oh, yeah.
Oh, slingshots. And there's a bloke, looks like one that makes a whipping sound when you let it go. It's really sort of dramatic. But no, the Slingshot channel, some of the stuff he makes is bloody powerful. Wow. But I think that really is quite interesting. This is why I want to get Graham Hart on the show, because he has discovered that we have got in England, I'm not talking about Wales or Scotland, the right to bear arms. We've still got that. Because I believe, again, I don't want to misrepresent him, that he got someone off for having weapons in his possession, and he got someone off in court because it's part of our constitution. Because we have got one, even though they're trying to ignore it.
Yeah.
That's his name. That's Warhol Red. That's Jorg Sprave.
Oh,
or
wow.
some such. Yeah, he is a right comedian. He's good. He is. Yes, but because actually he showed in slow motion. They had went to America, and he had a Colt 45, a few other handguns, and in slow motion you see a sort of bullet going towards the target, and it was and the worst was the Colt 45. The bullet just sort of went boing, 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 bounced off. I mean, he couldn't eat shit.
Yeah.
And his slingshot was as good as the handguns. It went through the target.
Yeah, they'll
Bloody
definitely
powerful.
do some damage. I've heard talk recently, and I don't know how official this is, but I don't know whether they'll talk about passing as a bill through Parliament of actually banning catapults. And I think one of the reasons is because it's a usual case, there's some kids or yobbos who go out smashing swans and this, that, and the other with them.
But they're in a minority. They've always done that. When I was a kid,
Oh,
they used to
yeah,
do
of
that.
course. Yeah.
And by the way, it's Graham Moore, not Graham Hart. Thanks, Alice Gorgeous. You always get his bleeding name wrong. I'm always notorious for getting names wrong, aren't I, Fred? But I know in Scotland, I think you have to register a crossbow, but not in this country.
I think they've changed the air rifle legislation.
Oh, sorry, air rifle. Sorry, I'm terribly sorry. Not
right,
crossbow.
okay.
Air rifle. I'm terribly sorry. I got that wrong. It's air rifle.
Yeah.
But our air rifles are so bleeding low power. I just don't think there's much to worry about. They can't. I think in America, I think you can pump that up to a higher rate than you can in this country. But I didn't know they used air rifles during the First World War. So I found out. I don't know what good they'd be. Yeah, I don't know what good they'd be.
There is some which are a lot more powerful than the stuff that you get in the UK, that's for sure. Stuff that you can actually do some considerable damage with.
They have some newfangled guns that they use. Like I've heard the Navy having electronic railgun type technology where it's an electronic charge that propels the projectile. That'd be interesting to look into. Like, has anybody done anything where you use like I don't know what they would be using exactly. Like, is it like charging a magnet and then it propels? From
I don't know. Have you seen those blokes using hairspray? Seriously.
Yeah, we used to do that. Make potato guns.
Hairspray. Yeah, and they
you get like a barbecue igniter. Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Bang.
We used to do that. You'd take a potato and you'd put it in a PVC pipe and stuff it toward the bottom, and then you'd spray in your aerosol hairspray, and then we'd drill a hole with a thread to put the barbecue igniter in, and then you'd just cap it off, and then boop, and then the potato would fly up. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was at school, there's a kid whose father was during World War II, because most of my generation, our parents or grandparents were in World War II. And I'm showing my age now. And his dad was in demolition. They used to blow up bridges and things like that. I don't know what unit they call them. Was it engineers or something? So he knew all about explosives. And he was a bit like Bonhoeffer to look at, the glasses and sort of person, sort of kid you wouldn't have thought would have. Well, there used to be a wall that went along. That was like a kind of. There was two levels outside the school, and then there was a playing field, and then there was this wall, and then it was a higher bit of grass above it. You see, and this was a cavity wall for some unknown reason. Don't know why. And there's all holes, various parts, you see. And there was a sports hut next to this wall. And this kid used to get, you don't think you get them now, cigar tubes. They're aluminium.
Yeah.
And he used to put his concoction into it. I can't really say what they use.
Yeah,
it might be illegal. But
sorry.
You could get them from hardware stores and garden centres and things. It's just this stuff. And little sod put a fuse on it. And of course, we were bunking off from sports because we didn't care much for it. And what we did is he did his main, lit the fuse, he had a long fuse, and lowered it into one of the holes down the cavity wall, you see. And nothing happened. Fuse has gone out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go and put another one down there. And as we walking towards it, and all the kids came running out of this sports hole, which was next to the cavity wall, running out. What the bloody hell was that? And what it was, it must have hit some methane. I was all the bloody.
Yeah, mate.
But what this kid did, and again, to look at him, he was sort of a bit like, when you see a picture of Bonhoeffer, he's just like him, sort of inconvolved. He, little bastard, he got one of these cigar tubes, went into the the toilet rather, and stuck it underneath the seat, lit it, and then got out, kept the door locked, and got out the window. And we was in the classroom above where the toilets were, you see. And we're all sitting there. I think it's English class. And suddenly there's this God Almighty bang. He blew the seat off the lavatory, cracked the bag.
Yeah, God.
Christ knows what he went into when he left school. But the type of kid you would never dream in a million years would do it. He was just, but his dad certainly knew about demolition.
They definitely ban that stuff nowadays, wouldn't they? I mean, Aunt Sally's put a good point in. She's saying they're gradually changing the legislation so we can only defend ourselves with a spoon. And do you know what? That I think she's hit the nail on the head. There is a saying in the anarchist community about if they've, I think it's something along the lines of, if guns are banned in your country, it means slavery has been perfected there. So
correct. And there was a list of countries where they've taken arms away from the people, and the amount of millions of people that were genocided.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you another. It's kind of, let's say, interesting kind of point on that is some of the instances when guns have been banned or gun legislation has been changed has actually fallen on a particular date, the 22nd of March, which is it'll be coming up very soon, the 22nd of March, the Satanic Season of Sacrifice.
Ooh. Iran during the bloom would be going up.
What is that? The Ides of March? Is it when Julius Caesar was assassinated by Brutus?
That was the 15th, believe it or not, or along those lines. But that in itself is another interesting period of the year, the Ides of March. I mean, as the saying goes, beware the Ides of March. And there's quite a lot of events in history have happened in that particular time. But the 22nd is the spring equinox, and some will say it's the official start of the year. The real, but the Satanic Season of Sacrifice, I mean, it's something we could talk about at some stage because
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, terror attacks, for example, the Westminster Bridge, Belgian bomb, Crocus City in Russia recently, another mass shooting, several high school shootings. Mass shootings in America have been conducted on that particular date.
Interesting. That is fascinating. Also, DJB2, I can't really read this one out, but I think we can all read it. I might get taken down for reading it, but very interesting. Thanks, mate, for posting that up. I can't obviously There's a website called blah, 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 that has blueprints for something naughty and other stuff. Naughty things.
So don't look at it, whatever you do.
Yes, don't look at it. Yes, but the thing is that they're frightened of us. That's the real fact of the matter. They're very, very frightened of us. But I mean, I think a catapult is probably the best weapon you can have because the ammunition's all around you.
I was going to ask though, like you have these draconian gun laws, but have you been in circumstances where they're actually needed? I'm not trying to justify that it's a good thing or a bad thing. No. I'm kind of ambivalent, but yeah, I don't know too many people here even that have been in a gunfight, for instance, where there'd even be an opportunity for that, except like run-ins with police and like people on meth, methamphetamine going crazy, that kind of thing, where it's like you wish they didn't have guns because they do more harm than good, especially for themselves. But I'm not so much a gun advocate, but I have guns, but I don't like see it as a necessity of life. I don't see it as like something that I need to protect myself with. Or
you don't feel as if you've got to be tooled up on a daily basis.
Yeah, and that has more to do with, like you say, the morality of people is what's important. You have
I agree with
people, as long as you have a moral society, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
that sort of thing. But it's when, like you say, when the shit hits the fan, you gotta have it. Like who is it? Solzhenitsyn said that if they had only gone out there, not feared for their lives with pickaxes and pitchforks, at least doing something to stop the Bolsheviks from taking over, they would have been a lot better off than they were in the Gulag. So
yeah,
I see that point too.
Yeah, I mean, fundamentally, the events from 6 years ago warranted, let's just say,
but the morality of the people was such that they were just cold and they didn't care.
Oh yeah, exactly. So it warranted, if you were to say, well, let's talk about this in a self-defense angle, it warranted, you could say, a Second Amendment style of response.
Yeah.
But the thing is, just as you say, the not just the morality of people, but the general consensus of people. Certainly in the UK, I can only comment on for the UK
Same
here.
But
fear. But nobody was in the right state of mind to actually do anything to oppose the conditions that were forced upon people, simply because were under too much mind control. Society
we had developed too many vices in our society, you could say. Like I was saying earlier with that quote from Seneca about man having as many masters as he has vices. And it doesn't matter, even if you're a slave, you're free because you know better, you know right from wrong, and it's a test of your virtue, your strength, rather than a punishment.
So effectively in the UK, again, the 22nd of March, when a particular self-imposed imprisonment was announced in the UK by Mr. Boris Bojo the Clown Johnson, there should have been a violent uproar against such ridiculous, conditions. But there was nothing, simply because there was few people had that fight in them, because they just didn't have that level of cognition.
No,
they feared the wrong things.
What bloke would not like to be in the position of Clint Eastwood with "Go ahead, punk"? I still think it's the greatest line in film history. Go ahead, punk. Mate, what did I do? 5 or was it 6? When he goes, click, it was 6. Because at the end of the film,
I got to know.
Gotta know. And at the end, of course, he shot 5. There was one up the breech still. But did you know that Magnum, I think it's a Magnum, before that film, Magnum wasn't a very popular gun. People didn't go much about it.
I suppose. Yeah, everybody.
And it's shot to fame, because of the film. But the other one is Martini. James Bond films made Martini famous because before the James Bond films, people didn't bother with Martini much. Yeah. Yeah, it was a sort of Italian drink. Nobody took much notice of it. And
did you ever see those films with Eddie Constantine at the same time as in the 50s? And it was like a precursor to James Bond, and he played this character named Lemmy Caution.
No.
And no, okay.
No.
He played the New Jersey guy, boss, casino boss coming in the Long Good Friday film.
Oh.
I'm trying to think, but and like that.
Oh, with I know the one, Long Good Friday. It was made in 1979. It was with Bob Hoskins. Yeah.
He was known for playing that character Lemmy Caution, which was the precursor to James Bond. Who was it? Lemmy Kilmister, the guy from Motorhead.
Oh yeah.
He named himself after that character, Lemmy Caution.
That's interesting. That's fascinating. But because the first James Bond, it goes
was in
back
like 53.
53. That was it. We looked into this the other week. Yeah, but there was one on the radio, wasn't there? As James Bond, there was a radio version, and the chap who did the radio version, Bob Holness, thought he was going, because he was an actor, I believe, thought he was going to get the part of James Bond in the film, but he didn't. It was Sean Connery that got it. But I think the least impressive James Bond is Roger Moore. He just didn't look the part to me. He's too suave.
Well, the first Lemmy Caution movie that came out was in 53 when James Bond was written. So I think it might have had some influence on Ian Fleming when he did that. Yeah,
it's a sort of. But I think that some of the gadgets. I mean, my father used to call it sewage from China. Far-fetched. Some of the things. Why isn't it? Why doesn't the baddie just say, "Go bang and shoot the bastard"? And so then, Mr. Bond, we're now going to strap you to the side of this rocket.
We're going to torture you.
Yes. Yeah. Why? Why don't you just shoot the bastard and get him out of the way? Then get on with the film.
Yeah, but that's not drama.
But
you get the suspense.
That's right. Did you know when they filmed the one with the tank? The bloke. What was his name? When he was in the tank, and they had to cover there's a film on YouTube showing you how they made the film, and this road was actually covered in washing up liquid, so that the tank skidded round. So they had to cover the whole road in washing up liquid, and I can't remember who was actually in the part of James Bond on that film, but. He was actually not driving the tank. Obviously, they had two drivers, stuntmen that were driving, and it was I think it's a T-36 tank, something like that, Soviet tank, But I'd take it the Soviet tanks were shit. Absolute shit. They just didn't work. But because they had to have a sledgehammer, didn't they, to put it in reverse? Because the reverse gear didn't work.
Wow.
Bosh. But the T-36, they reckon, bloody hell, that was the one. It was simple, and they could make millions of them. And that's what the Germans should have done, was made a simple tank where they made millions of them. But they reckon after a day in a T-36, you certainly knew it because it was so noisy. It was terrible design, horrendous, But Stephen Truthseeker said, all depends what generation you're from. I'm Generation X, so Roger Moore will always be James Bond. No, I'm afraid it's Sean Connery for me every time.
Well, which was the James Bond? Do you remember the one with? I think it was was the guy called Jaws, and he had a little fling or something.
That's right. That was
a little
Roger
girl
Moore
with the ponytails.
Yeah, that was Roger Moore.
That
was the one where he jumps out of a plane without a parachute, and he has a fight as he's flying through the air.
As you do.
Parachute, you know what I mean? And that's what lands. And his hair was still in immaculate order when he landed.
Yeah, as you do.
That's right.
That's Moonraker. Somebody's put that up. Offhead Rex.
Moonraker.
Cheers, mate.
Yes.
Offhead Rex said Moonraker. So in Moonraker, wasn't it? There was a young girl with the I think she had like pigtails or ponytails.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Jaws, the character Jaws, who had the metal
That's
braces or the metal teeth, he had a little, I don't know, a soft spot for her. But isn't there some sort of little controversy at the moment that in the original she had braces, but in, everyone's saying in I don't know, when you watch reruns of this particular film, she's got no braces. And it's almost like there's a slip in the, I don't know, the quantum field or
The
something.
Really?
Mandela
Yeah.
effect.
That's the word, Mandela effect, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
that's an interesting one.
Yeah, it's a bit like the Third Man film. They did some incredible editing in that because there's a scene where they go down the sewers, and the next scene is they're running down the stairs, and those stairs are actually in Pinewood, in Britain. But they showed them going into the sewers in Austria, and apparently it wasn't the sewers; it's an underground river. So there's no smelly poo or anything like that. It's an underground river. But you're told that it's the sewers. Because I don't know if you've seen the Third Man when they're all run down the sewers.
I can't remember it.
Like that,
Right, okay.
Now, here we go. George Lazenby was better than Roger Moore as Bond, and he blagged getting the role, ended up marrying Diana Rigg. More attractive than Pussy Galore. Oh, Pussy Galore. Yeah, that's a bit rude. Pussy Galore. Yeah. I think the latest James Bond, though, is the sort of bloke you would be a James Bond. Seriously, he is the part.
No
suaveness.
What they call him? I know who you mean. He died
he
in the end, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did. But I like that one where he comes down by parachute. There's this old boy sitting down, look at him, takes his parachute off. I've seen this on YouTube. There's good evening and carries on walking. As if he does it every day, it's very suave, Yeah. But do you ever see that on Hal and Pace? Comedians, and one of them takes off James Bond and he's driving along on his plush car. He pulls into this really expensive looking mansion, and two blokes in white coats says, "Mr. Bond, we've been waiting for you." And the camera goes back. It's got venereal disease clinic.
Yeah. Swiftly followed by Pussy Galore.
Yeah. Honor Blackman speaks like. Did you know Honor Blackman she was a Cockney and spoke really coarse, and her mother took her to elocution lessons so she could actually get into the film world? That's true.
Wow.
Because she spoke very posh. And the other one was the fella in the Don's on Dog Doodah band. He came from a working class family, and he was sent to elocution lessons to speak very posh. Yes.
Yeah.
But no, as you got here, nah, Roger Moore was best. Yeah. Now, what we got here, is anyone, Stephen Treeseeker says, anyone into football? Because I remember Gabby Logan, father, dying 30 years ago, but he only died a few weeks ago.
I'm guessing that's another Mandela effect thing, is it?
Yeah.
I've not heard of that, but interesting.
You got Honor Blackman's Guide to Self-Defense. Mind you, Diana Rigg, she was best. She was pretty good. She was in the Avengers, wasn't she? Did you ever see that one when she wore the leather outfit? That was a bit saucy for those days. Cool, blimey. She was quite a looker, wasn't she, when she was young? And no, I always thought with John Steve was a bit slimy. He was a bit sort of a bit weird about it. A bit, I don't know, something, but very suave and sophisticated, But anyway, it's gone 11. We've been going for 3 hours.
Dear me.
And it's been fantastic as normal. Thanks for coming on, Steve. We're going to have to do a survival show soon.
Sure.
Hang on.
I'd love to do that.
Well, the thing is, it's long overdue. And I'll tell you something, that was brilliant advice you gave. Seriously, that really was good advice you gave. I carry a Sharpie now in my just in case.
You never know. Yeah, I'd love to do that. That'd be great. Sorry I was late, by the way.
Well, you was asked at last moment, and we've got tomorrow night. We got Ben Emlyn Jones coming on.
Tip-top.
I don't know what he's going to talk about, but he's booked in for the 9th, which is tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And
ask him about the black goo. He's got some good black goo stories.
Hang on. Well, you can come on and ask him if you want, if you're free.
Hey, see what I'm doing.
I'll put down ask about black. Was he been around my house, seen me cooking?
Not bad,
yeah. Well, shall I tell Peter the story? Yeah, I might as well. I'm on this keto. I don't call it diet, but I call it's a sort of different way of life. It's a change of lifestyle. And I don't like liver. I can't stand liver. But I have liver because it's full of vitamins and protein. And if I'm doing a manual job the next day, like I'm in the garden or something, or I'm cycling, I will have some liver, you see. And I thought, and I don't like the bitter taste to it. So I thought I came up with this bright idea. I thought, why not put it in the pressure cooker and pressure cook the bloody stuff? So I do. And I told Miles, Dr. Fleetwood, he went, you are joking, are you? I said, no. It gets rid of all the vitamins from it. You might as well put it in cardboard. So I've been that job. You see, that's mistakes you make, But I thought I was being a smart ass doing it that way. But no, don't pressure cook it, pressure cook it to buggery, Now, Patrick McNee played Iblis Satan in Battlestar Galactica. Did he really? And that's right, Hachi. Mona Blackman was one of the first in the Avengers, wasn't she? She was before Diana Rigg. But I didn't like the girl that came after Diana Rigg. She was... can't remember her name. Didn't think she was quite right. Purdy, then you had... what's her name? I can't think of her name.
I remember.
Now, Mark Anthony says, I used to get a lot of black goo after a night on the Guinness.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I've given up. Guinness, so I heard, is the one that's made in Ireland is full of fluoride. So I stopped drinking.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, that's a shame because I do like a Guinness.
So do I. I've gone back to my cider.
You ever make homebrew?
Used to. Can do.
The malt kit in the can.
Yeah.
That's a good way to do it.
Oh, right. I've not done beer. I'm making cider at the moment, so see how that turns out.
That's good too. Yeah.
But Walt Holbrook said Playboy Press sold Blackman's book. That's interesting. Yes, I really didn't know that. That's an interesting one. But anyway, I think I need to hit the hay. Please tune in tomorrow night and join as Ben will be on. And you never know, you might see a few regular faces. Of course, the team are always welcome on here. And I'll ask Ben about the black goo, and if you'd like to come on, you are more than welcome on, Steve. And
hey, thanks for the invite.
And you've booked a lot of times in March, so you're a long way off. The next one
but this is the shortest month of the year, so it's going to come quick.
Yeah.
March is going to come quick.
Next one you're booked in for is my piece of paper is 9th of March, which is a month's
that'll
time,
be soon enough.
and then 22nd of March.
You'll blink and it'll be March 9th.
Yes,
the way time's going.
And also Maleficus, I hope, will be coming on soon, and also Alvin Court and Shelley Tasker, and of course the usual
all the Cornwellians.
The Cornwellians, that's right. And also that other person who may be coming on, mystery person. And I think I'll try and get Larkin Rose on. I haven't seen him on any interview I think I've seen him on one.
Yeah, he has done talks with other, radio presenters and what have you. But
I can only ask him. I mean, I don't think he's that high. I'm not sure he's that high profile. Oh.
He probably doesn't get the recognition he deserves, to be fair. But then again, most people love the government, so it's a tough one tough egg to crack, that one.
Now, you wouldn't want to come on with him, would you, Steve? I'm sure. Try and stop you coming on with him. You'd be on like, seriously, you two would go great together. They really would.
I'd just be wanting his autograph. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, he is brilliant. Have you seen any Lark and Rose, Patrick?
No. I've heard the name, but I've never looked into it beyond the name.
We got this poll coming out, hopefully tomorrow, on who you want to vote as, shall we say, the hero. So and I did say that we couldn't have anybody that was dead, but I did that Bonhoeffer in there, so I was being a bit contradictory there. So maybe we could have Lindbergh. So shall we put Lindbergh in as well?
Hey, why not?
Yeah. I mean, it was bloody brave. Yeah, mind you, the trouble is people be going back to Henry VIII and Christ knows what.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so... hang on, get Mark Passio on.
Oh, yeah. That would definitely rattle a few cages in the truth movement.
I would... Actually, I'll make a note of that. I mean, I can't promise anything. So it's Jerry Mowinski and then Mark Passio.
Yeah, big fan of Mark Passio. Me and Nathan endorse his work in our various us. Actually, can I plug that? Me and Nathan do podcasts on YouTube.
Plug us all you bloody want. I don't mind. Seriously, we've got to help each other.
Yeah, and, brilliant.
And you need to get onto the FF. Was it Food for Thought Radio?
FFTradio.com.
Yes, that's right. And please plug. Have you got any weekends coming up? Survival weekends.
End of May, I'm doing survival stuff in Wales, North Wales, the end of May. But
you like Wales, don't you? There's something about Wales you like. I mean, is it the Welsh people? Or is it the 20-mile-an-hour speed limits they got there? I mean,
I'm not.
It takes you a long time to get there.
So I'll be honest. The 20-mile-per-hour speed limits. Of course,
bloody hell, yeah.
I tend not to listen to government advice, but that's just me.
Well, I do not believe in. I think they should have speed limits advisable, but whether you adhere to them or not is entirely up to you. And if you're driving unsafely or you hurt somebody, then that's against injury, loss, or harm. But if you're a competent person and it's 2:00 in the morning, doing 20 miles an hour is bleeding stupid because there's no one around.
Yeah, of course. These are things we should, I think these are little things that we should incorporate in some of these chats,
I agree with you. Things we should not have. I mean, I think we've got to have an interim period where we gradually do away with government.
Yeah.
To get people into... Because if we did away with the government, bang, straight away, it would just be chaos.
Blood in the streets.
Yeah. That's right. I mean, it's like you speak to people, well, my doctor says this. And my neighbour said this the other day. My doctor says, sorry, you're your doctor. You only go to those people and you listen to what they got to say and you think, no, I don't think I'll take their advice. Or, yes, I do take their advice. But they're only there as an advisory thing because you make the ultimate choice, not them. But they sort of take it that the doctor makes the ultimate choice. No, you make the ultimate choice. Big difference.
That's it. Ultimately, you've got to realise that we are in charge of our own being.
That's right.
That's right. We've got to get rid of the mind control that tells you otherwise.
That's right. I mean, I do not know who the local mayor is where I live. I couldn't give a shit. Do you know who the local mayor is? Where you live? I bet you don't. I haven't got the foggiest idea.
I don't know who the sheriff is. I don't know any of that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're the same. Yeah, I couldn't give a shit. I really don't. I know all I do know. I have to pay bleeding money for the bastard to be in his office with his chain around his bleeding neck. But
pay
who
tribute.
cares? Yeah. But anyway, thank you very much for everybody. thank you very much, everybody in chat and on the show. I'd also like to thank, thanks Steve for coming on. It's much appreciated. It's been a fantastic show. Patrick, thank you for coming on.
Cheers.
There's an invite for tomorrow evening with Ben. So, it'll be a great show. You can ask him about his black goo and God knows what like that then. And remember, please, thumbs up. Tune in to Steve and Nathan's channel on YouTube. And also tune in on Holy Land Radio on Telegram, which is Patrick's. So there we go.
Happy days.
Whatever happens, have a bloody good laugh. Good night.